Who's ready for the Dirt Life Show?
Yeah. Welcome to episode 91 of the Dirt Life Show. Tonight we have an awesome show for you guys lined up. We have our featured guest, Max Eddy, in studio. Max is a Baja 1000 winner with his team and also a avid racer in the desert. He's done all kinds of cool stuff, rally racing. He's also done a new project with Polaris with the RS1 at the Sonora Rally, and plans to do much more with Polaris in the future after signing his new contract. So welcome, Max Eddy, to the studio.
Yeah, thank you, George, for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We're pumped to have you on, dude. It's going to be such a cool little show. We got a few things to talk about. We're going to do, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but you know what UTV Takeover is?
You know, I got myself familiar with it. I was looking at it, kind of took over the Instagram feed for a couple days there, so
nice.
I couldn't really avoid but checking it out, and God, that looks like an awesome event.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really cool thing to have, especially in the United States. So now we have all kinds of different locations that they're doing. They're doing up in, where was it? Up in Oregon. Now they're going to do it in Utah, all kinds of places. So we're going to talk a little bit about that before we go fully into your story. Since it was just this weekend, there was a lot of fun that was had. Yep. And you'll get to learn a little bit about some of the enthusiasts, what they do with their side-by-sides too when they're going hucking and stuff.
Yeah, heck yeah.
So it'll be cool. Before we get into the show, I wanted to basically do a little tribute. One of our dear friends, Rocky Aiello, unfortunately, a week and a half ago, he passed away at Cahuilla Creek Motocross Park. Rocky was currently the national sales manager for Husky and KTM and the group up there in Marietta. And personally for me, him and Ken Durr were the guys that facilitated my Yamaha contract. So I was very tight with those guys. They did a lot for me. They're just awesome people in the industry. And we wanted to just basically give our deepest condolences to his family. Jennifer, his wife, and Kai and Grant, both of them are going to miss their dad very much. He was such a fantastic human being. So we love you, Rocky, and we miss you, man. I just wanted to just give a little shout out. Motocross is a pretty gnarly sport, and he died doing what he loved. So, So Godspeed, Rocky. All right, so today's show, like I said, we're going to talk about UTV Takeover a little bit before we dig into Max's story. It's going to be really cool. We got Zach Jeffers. He pretty much organized that event, did a lot of the media stuff for that event. We're going to talk to him around 5:15 on Instagram here. The Dune Destroy guys, I don't know who's going to end up calling in. Maybe Kyle, maybe John if he gets enough time off work. Billy Slade's going to call in, tell us how his time was over there. He was skimming across some water. Have you ever skimmed across water on a dirt bike or a UTV?
I've tried.
You remember back in the day when they did like those crusty demons and they were flying across water?
Yeah, I think every kid that watched those videos went out and tried a little bit of everything that they seen.
So you did?
Video. Yeah.
Did you make it?
No.
You wadded it up?
I mean, I didn't. I had 125s back in the day, so they don't
So
carry
you
enough momentum.
You were full wood and didn't get it all the way across?
Yep.
So it'll be cool to talk about that. One of the things that I wanted to talk about that's very dear to Max's heart is rally racing. I wanted to get into it a little bit, details with it, and see. I mean, it's growing so big at the side-by-side industry now. I just want to see what Max's take is on it and how difficult it is compared to a normal race like a Baja or something like that. And obviously, we're going to dig into Max's story too. So if you guys have questions or comments or anything, maybe even funny stories about Max or even his son Connor, please chime in and have fun with us. It'll be pretty cool to talk with everybody about it. I want to thank all of our sponsors. Max actually shares a few sponsors with the show.
Yeah.
So thank you very much to the guys over at KMC Wheels. Those guys have been a part of the show since day one. We love Ryan over there at KMC Wheels. Thank you to Ryan at EFX Tires as well, guys. So you got your KMC socks on, and I got my EFX socks on. So we're both like front and sponsors hard on our feet today.
Yeah, Ryan's probably pretty happy.
the Ryan team over there is super happy. So thank you guys very much for being part of the show. If you want some merch like this, like the stuff that we have, you can go to wheelmerch.com and you can purchase any of these things. They sell t-shirts like the EFX ones. They got KMC shirts, obviously socks, socks and stuff like that as well. So thank you very much to the guys over there at KMC and EFX. Thank you to the guys at Shock Therapy. In fact, we don't share that as a sponsor, but you drove a car that had Shock Therapy suspension on it in that RS1.
Yep.
Just had to make a couple changes to it, though.
Yeah, it's just a little bit different terrain, a little different style of driving.
Yeah,
fit
exactly.
everyone different. Yep.
And coming from Moto, you like a little bit slower rebound. I know that.
Yeah, you know what? I'm kind of excited. I just picked up another sponsor. Fox is going to help me out for the next couple of years, our full factory program. So
sweet, dude.
I just sent those RS1 shocks back to Minnesota to Fox.
Nice, that's cool. And they were the ones that gave us those shocks to do on that project. So it's cool that they're going back and they're going to get some love, man.
Yep.
That's really cool, man. Well, congratulations on elevating your game too.
Yeah, thank you.
Your program's stepping up. Thank you to the guys over there at Zollinger Racing Products. You can use the code DIRTLIFE at ZollingerRacingProducts.com. You can, I don't remember what it was. I think it's like 15% off, but it's a massive deal. So you can save a whole bunch of money. So get over there at ZollingerRacingProducts.com and save a whole bunch of money. Josh over at Cryo Heat wanted me to tell you hello. So Cryo Heat is one of the show sponsors, and he actually has a couple questions that he wanted me to ask you today too.
Yep. I've been working with Josh for a long time, and it's cool to continue that relationship into the side-by-side stuff, man. And he's got some great products over there, and does an amazing job on.
Dude, the science behind all of it still blows my mind. Like I can't but it's awesome.
Yeah, you know, I wasn't like. Everyone's skeptical of it, right? You know,
yeah. What does it do? I don't know.
A true testament for me, the 2014 Baja 1000, we ran Renthal sprockets, and everyone knows how long the aluminum Renthal sprockets last.
Dude, yeah.
Not very long, especially on a 450 with big horsepower.
And through the desert.
And we had Josh cryo heat all the aluminum sprockets and everything else, and every tire change, we put the new tire and wheel and everything on as complete sprocket and stuff, and the anodizing was barely worn off from the cryo-heated sprockets.
Dude, that's insane.
Yeah.
So that's a testament right there. We're going to get into a little further with Max when we talk about some other stuff that he did as far as endurance desert racing goes on a bike as well. And thank you to guys over at solderweld.com. You can use the code DIRTLIFE at solderweld.com to save a whole bunch of money on off-road repair kit, a nice little welding blanket with a seam in it so that you can wrap it around any pipes or whatever you got to use. So we got a couple things or comments coming in already, Max. Brandon Kelsey, I don't know if you know who he is, but he says, congrats, Max. Keep on kicking ass out there.
Thank you.
Dude, yeah, there's some other comments coming in. Jeremy Gray says, what's up, guys? Let's see here. Yep. Casey Peck already comment on the shoes again, dude. So Casey used to be my co-host, and he's actually going to get the VIP co-host because I get to go to Arizona next week and have a show.
Rad.
So are you familiar with a guy named Joe Whining? He helps out with Toby Price's program. He sits in the passenger seat with Toby.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, so he's from the town that we grew up in Tucson.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and Toby flies him out to do that, like the Fink race and different things like that, and to help out with that Tisco truck that he's got down there now. So it'll be pretty cool to hang out with Joe and go back to Arizona and kind of get the band back together for another show next week.
Yeah, no doubt. Fun.
Yeah, John Huppers, thank you very much, man. It wasn't our loss. It was everybody's loss, man. Rocky was a great guy. Shock's going back to the tundra. Yep. So John's from, I forgot where you were from, John, Michigan or Minnesota, somewhere up there where it's way too cold for us.
Yeah.
So Max also lives on the high desert, so he's used to the heat.
Yeah, you know, the older I get, the more it affects me, though, and I'm like, God, you start planning your day around the heat. You know, you're getting a little bit older. You know, as a kid, you didn't care. You're out in it all day long.
Yep, exactly. But makes you a little bit better a racer because you can withstand the heat inside the race car, right?
Yeah, you got to train in it. That's for sure.
Okay, so we're going to have, Zach Jeffers joining us in just a little bit here. But let me go through a little bit more of the show stuff. You can join us anytime through our social media platforms. Instagram is usually the best one. Slide into our DMs, have fun with us. It's at the Dirt Life Show, and come on in and hang out. Tell us what you think about the show. You can give us suggestions anytime. You can always check us out on Facebook or YouTube live at 5 every Monday night. We do Instagram lives, usually on Thursday around 5:30 or so. Max actually did one after the Sonora Rally with us, so go back and check that one out. He was real descriptive, let all of us know what was going on. It was pretty cool to see an inside scoop on the story. So looks like Zach Jeffers is going to join us real quick as well. So we'll get him on here and we'll start talking about the UTV Takeover a little bit. But yeah, you can check us out anytime. You can always view the archives on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, all that stuff anytime. We always recommend that people go there, like, subscribe, and hang out with us because we have such a good following there so far. So yeah, let's welcome Zach Jeffers to the show. What's up, Zach? How are you?
How's it going, boys?
Oh, we're doing pretty good, man. How are you? Are you super tired?
Oh man, I don't know if you can see on my face. It's bright cherry red right now. My face is peeling off, and it's 105 here in the Northwest today. But it was a week long of 70 to 90 degree temperatures on the sand with the sun reflecting all over you. And I'm one of those guys that doesn't prefer to be slimy, so I don't wear the sunblock very often, and it's catching up with me this week.
Cowboy Deluxe says, "What's up, Zach?" Yeah, well, that's cool, man. UTV Overlander. I don't know if you know that guy or not. Ian's chiming in here.
Yeah, Ian. He was out there with me. He was bright red as well. And shout out to the Dune Destroy boys and Brent from 212. You guys killed it this week out with all the cars, and we're out shooting film and all that stuff. So I know a lot of us were looking forward to this event all year, and it didn't disappoint.
Hey, look, so Riley McGinnis, one of our friends down here, I knew it would come up. I didn't really want to talk about it very much, but he said, how about Al Macbeth's crash? Hey, Riley, how about we just skip that part of it and we'll talk about all the good stuff that happened, man. You know how it goes.
Just to cover that real quick, just because I know there's a lot of people talking about it. Al Macbeth is a really good guy. He takes a lot of care and consideration when he does big jumps, and even when he's testing and doing stuff like that with a bunch of people. So, he went out for a test hit, and unfortunately, some bystanders decided to drive up and join the crew while he was out testing. He wasn't aware that they were there, and unfortunately, he landed on the hoods of those cars. So, things happen when you're out on the dunes going big. Everybody was taken care of. Cars were taken care of. No one got hurt. His car wasn't broken. He broke an axle, but that was about it. But you know what? There was a lot of other people out there doing crazy stuff. 212 was out there. Dune Destroy was out there breaking stuff. Everybody broke something.
I don't think Dune Destroy ever breaks anything. Do they, Kyle?
Actually, as a matter of fact, I didn't break a single part this weekend.
Nice. Hey, so I just want to do a proper introduction. So Zach, to my left, we have Max Eddy. And Zach is the one on your left there. And then we got Kyle from Dune Destroy on the right. I don't know if you guys know Max, but pretty much he can wax every single person on this call, like with anything, a dirt bike, a side-by-side, whatever you got. So he's faster than all of us, boys.
Nice to meet you guys.
My bikini line or
I mean, we're pretty bearded up. We're pretty hairy, so...
We're weighing down the bottom half of the gram today. This is you guys need to catch up with us up on top.
That's true, right? So, hey, give me an overall consensus on UTV Takeover, Kyle, because this was your first time, right?
This was our first time going to UTV Takeover. It's really awesome because it's not just about the athletes. It's not just about the influencers. It's about, everybody. Like, everybody can go enter any contest, and it gets everybody involved. And that was one thing that I really liked about it was, it just gets everybody involved, and everybody can talk to each other, and everybody can be involved. Awesome.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. So let's, Zach, maybe you can give us a little bit more of a breakdown of the platform or events that happen. I know, Max, that these guys did all kinds of different events in the Oregon Coos Bay Dunes. They did a little short course race, which is kind of like a little campfire track. Yep. They did a jump contest. They had all kinds of different fun events. I'm sure they had cornhole. So maybe you can give us a breakdown, Zach.
Yeah, so UTV Takeover is an event series that is a tour across the United States. So we have 4 locations we do. We start the year off in Coos Bay, Oregon. We then hit the East Coast in Grundy, Virginia, which is coming up this in a few weeks. And then we'll be traveling off to Winnetka, Oklahoma, and then ending the year in Hurricane, Utah for Sand Hollow. The event was created by the riders for the riders. That's kind of the tagline that they started off with. It was started around a campfire of some guys that had cars and decided, you know what, there's really nothing going on in the industry where the family can go out and rip together as a community. And so they started this event. This was our 6th year that they've done the event. This is my first year joining them, but officially. But it's the 6th year they've done the event. So this was the 6th year Oregon's gone off. And basically we just created a whole bunch of events that everybody, like Kyle was saying, everybody can join in on. So we have cornhole tournaments. We have Kids Zone where kids can color and craft while the parents have a drink and a bite to eat. We have short course tournaments, long jump contests, wheelie contests, barrel racing, just kind of the whole gamut of different things you can do. And the nice thing about it is none of it is super hard. Anyone with any skill and talent level can do it. Obviously, if you don't have a whole lot of talent, you're probably not going to trophy. But Kyle threw down pretty good, and the boys over there threw down pretty good. And the nice thing about it is you get outside of your racer mentality of like, I have to win everything, and you get more into the personal mentality of, I really just want to go have fun.
And I want to beat my friends. They threw down money on this too.
Yeah. So
basically, we knew that like we couldn't go in there and beat everybody. The only one that we thought we had a chance was John thought he could win Huckfest, but not in a 4-seater. That thing weighs too much. But we decided to go, hey, let's go. We're gonna beat Brent. That was the main goal. We got to beat Brent the whole time. And then it was just between the four of us. So I'm almost positive I went home with the most wins, just out of sheer fact that I was the only one that entered the wheelie contest. So that's an automatic win.
I seen a Can-Am wheeling over backwards almost. Was that you?
No, I drive an RS1, dude. We got to go right now.
Rad. Heck yeah.
Yeah. So the reigning chap from last year, he brought his RZR into the competition for the wheelie contest, and then on the first run blew 3 beads, and this is so his tires were shot, and then some guy in the audience just walked up to him and said, "Hey, I got a fully built Can-Am X3. If you want to go throw down, it's fully insured. You can take it right now if you want it." And
that's a recipe for disaster right there.
Yeah. And so he's never driven an X3 in his life, let alone, in a wheelie comp. And his first attempt, he sent it halfway down the track. And his third attempt, he took the win at 180 feet or something like that.
Wow. Yeah, it was insane.
It's cool to see that, though. Like, okay, so if you're at the races, ain't nobody going to come up to you and say, my car's fully insured, here, drive this. So it's kind of cool to see that, right?
And just to be clear, he did clear it past his wife first, and his wife gave him the permission.
Oh, okay. So
he's not in the doghouse today, huh?
Right.
Man, we got a whole bunch of comments rolling in, so it's going to be hard for us to keep up with the comments. I don't know if you want to read some of them, Zach, because I got a whole bunch of studio stuff I got to pay attention to. But if anybody chimes in with the comments, keep them rolling in, and if there's some good ones, Ashley's been just commenting like left and right, dude. And John's not even on.
So, I see one. Ruslan, we miss you too, buddy. It was a good time with Ruslan this weekend.
How was he up there? Was he sending it too?
He got a little down on himself about some broken parts, and I just told him, I'm like, dude, mechanical failure is not your fault. Just come out and have a good time. That's what this event's about, is going out and have a good time. Don't put the pressure on yourself, Hey, a little sneak peek, though. I just got to check out Ruslan's car that they're building over here at IMG. Ooh, that thing is looking sweet, dude. Yeah, I heard he's supposed to, I think he might be racing Vegas to Reno. That's what I heard.
Dang, that would be pretty cool. Are you going to do any of those races, Max? Like any of that stuff?
I'm doing the Vegas to Reno in the trophy trucks, so that throws that.
Who are you going to ride with?
Robert Johnston.
Okay, cool. How's that going to be?
It's good. He usually does the first half, and then I'll finish the second half.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I ride with him the first half.
Oh, okay, then you jump in the driver's seat?
Yep.
Nice, dude. That's going to be fun. So I don't know if you guys know, but if we had any competitions that we were trying to get around the campfire track or whatever you guys called it, short course up there in Coos Bay, we would have all got waxed if Max was there.
Yeah, it's a little more than a campfire track. Kyle can attest to that. It was pretty gnarly. It's an infinity track, so you have 2 lanes that eventually merge into each other and swap sides. So you go around twice.
That track was rad.
Yeah, so it was pretty sweet. You started on a corner, which was kind of unique, and then you ended on a corner, which was a little sketch. Have to admit, maybe next year we put a straightaway finish line, but they would end up crossing paths, going up the hill around barrels. We had pretty much everyone setting at 110% around the barrels on the uphill, and so they would get 2 wheels in the air and get all wonky, and it was a great time. I think every single one of the D&D boys got their wheels up in the air at some point.
All 4 cars went up on 2 wheels in the same turn.
Yeah, and I think one went all the way over, and but it was no big deal. It's just on the sand, so The nice thing about it is everyone gets an entertaining event to watch, and it draws lots of people. There were thousands of people cheering on the racers and making sure they had a good time. And, the nice thing about it is it's an elimination event. So we had a way more races than we've ever had on the short course this year. And it was a
short course at like 11 next year. Or the next.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to go a little earlier because it went way longer than it was supposed to. So we had a pretty stacked. I want to say we had somewhere in the neighborhood of 50, 60 racers that then had to get eliminated down to the final race. And the UTV Takeover athlete, Wyatt Hastings, if you don't know who he is, you go look him up on Instagram. What was that, bud?
I know who he is. I got paired against him in an RS1. Real fair.
So he's been on our podcast before. He started racing at 3 and now races pro and limited racers against the top talent in the world. And this year he just got his car all tuned up, had another 50 horsepower thrown at it. And he's a little rocket, man, and he doesn't slow down for nothing.
So he took the win?
He took the win for sure. Yeah, it was close. There was a few cut races that got him pretty close, but it's hard to beat somebody like him who it's bred into his brain set. It's just like every synapse in his brain is firing at 100%, and put a fast car underneath him, and he's going to more than likely take the podium.
How would you feel about doing like an elimination like that, Max? Because like if you fuck up once, like you're toast.
I think I'm gonna have to make a trip to San Hollow.
I want to go up there.
I
was telling the boys that I wanted to cruise up there. Maybe we should all go up there.
They should. Yeah, I did. Do they run like paddles the whole time, or regular tires, or how do they set up?
So in Oregon, it's all sand out there. There's all dunes. That's basically all you get. So everybody's on paddles. In Utah, because of the unique topography of Utah and why it's so amazing is you can go, 100 feet and be in a different type of terrain, and you can do, multiple things. So a lot of guys run their ATs on those, but we do recommend that if you're racing, you probably want to run paddles and then swap out when you get back on the rocks.
Gotcha.
The interesting thing about Utah is that their sand is so glassy. It's real heavy, it's real smooth, and it doesn't kick up very far. And when it does, it just falls right back down. So you're not making big dust plumes and stuff like that, like you are in Coos Bay. And I think this year in Coos Bay or in Utah, we're going to try to throw the hill element into it as well. It just made for a much more interesting race and a lot more fun. And I think Kyle can attest to that.
Hillfest was fun, except for the last final hill that got super rutted out, and I put my arm out, and I was rowing the boat trying to get up to the top of it.
I got video of you doing that, bud.
Dude, that's
so
the UTV event sounds awesome, but like your guys' beards are taking over the comments.
They do have. I was thinking about starting my own Instagram page for the beard. He's got his own grouping following. So
does yours have that much clout, Kyle? Too?
No, this is. They have terminal length for beards, and I haven't shaved mine in 5 years. It's as long as it gets. So, unfortunately.
Oh, that's funny, man.
I cannot use mine as a windsock. So.
Oh, we saw Zach use his as a windsock. Yeah. That thing was gnarly, dude.
Yeah, it usually it's nice. It's kind of a two-factor. It usually splits down the middle and tells you exactly the wind and the range and all that stuff. So. But he mentioned Hillfest, and that's a separate race, which is you're starting at the base of a big dune, and you get no run up. You're just basically flooring into the face of the dune at a 45, and then you do a hairpin down at a 45, and you do that a few times through the trees and then back up to the top. And it really is a skill race. It really separates a lot of the racers, people that don't know what they're doing and the people that do. And it's a good time. And you really do have to have a lot of low end torque and a lot of paddle and a lot of agility and knowing when to brake and when to floor it, because you can either take your front end out if you're not careful, or you can send it over the lip and roll her over too.
Spoken like a true racer, right?
Yep.
So what was some of the fun stuff that was outside some of the stuff that might have been seen on Instagram? You guys got any behind the scenes that you can hook us up with?
Pond skipping was definitely something I'd never done before, but was really fun.
So we were talking about that a little bit before. So like Crusty Demons of Dirt came out like when we were kids, man. And so like on our dirt bikes, I know I did it, not in the same like lake or ocean, whatever that you guys did it on, but we did it across little puddles in Arizona, which were very, very few and far between, by the way. And Max said he tried it once too out of 125 and it didn't go so well.
Yeah.
I can imagine on two wheels, it's a little more sketch than on four with a lot of horsepower. So
you just lean back and pray. I guess you're doing the same thing though over there too, right?
So the first time I went to go do it, I came in and then like didn't feel like I was straight enough. I was just nervous about it. You know, you've seen the videos where everybody's in the cars and then the car just goes. So I was like, so I hesitated and then the nose end dropped. The nose end dropped and I thought it was going to flip and I just held it wide open and it made it through it, but I got soaked.
I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm showing it on the camera for the actual feed, not the Instagram one. But it looks like your tires like are starting to get ready to sink in the water in the back.
Yeah, that was the one hit that I went a little bit slower and it just dived down and I got soaked, but I was close enough to the end where it pulled out of it. But the next time I hit it like twice as fast and went right across it, no problem, didn't even get wet.
How fast did you have to hit it? Like, did you even look at your speedometer or anything, or no?
No, the RS1 it's
wooded.
One speed, man, foot to the floor.
Is that how you were too, Max? Or are you a little bit more calculated?
I don't have quite a bit of dune experience. I didn't grow up going to Glamis or Dumont very often. I went once or twice. So all my dunes was like in Peru at the Dakar Rally and down in Sonora, and those dunes are gnarly. And that RS1 ate those dunes up like nobody's business. There was no getting high centered on I think everyone out there got high centered. Those dunes are super peaked out down in Sonora, Mexico.
Yeah.
And,
well, you go a different way though. Like when these guys go on dune rides, and most enthusiasts, they kind of do it flowy, right?
Yeah,
like you would on a flowy motocross track. Yeah. But for your guys' stuff, you go straight.
Yeah, you're trying to maintain a cap heading for, endless amounts of time. It just depends on how long it is. But yeah, straight up and over on some of those, and a lot of the bigger cars are all getting high centered and stuck. They'd have to get out and push off the dune and stuff. That RS1 just straight up and over the dunes. No problem.
I love that RS1, man. Kyle, like I was always a fan of the RS1, but then seeing you get in one and then like Max taking it to a whole new level, those things are so bitchin', dude.
It's so funny because I actually went and looked at the jump for Huckfest and I'm like, I can make that. If anything, I'm just going to land on the top. I'm not going to go very far, right? So I went to go hit it. And, I don't know if you know Russ Porter from Buggy Whip, but he came up to me afterwards and said some guy who was standing next to him said, that's a whole lot of man in that car. And I go, and Russ straight said to him, yeah, but he drives the hell out of it. So.
That's hilarious, man. Oh, dude. Yeah, the UTV Overlander Ian said John's beard isn't long enough for today's show. Dude, that was probably the lowest we could have gone on this whole show, man. Ian with the freaking jab.
It's all right. We can help you out. We got some tips.
We went on a sick rip with Ian. What was it? Tuesday night or Wednesday night? Right after the big night ride. That was insane. It was me, Ian, Russ, and then another guy, and we were just ripping through the trees. And we stopped, and they're like, "Is that RS1 turbo?" And I said, "Nah, just go for it, man."
Can you imagine that?
If there was an RS1 with a turbo, you mean? There's one kid that I know has a turbo on his RS1, but it seems like it's too laggy still. Like I like that initial hit, and the RS1 it doesn't really need that much more power.
No, it doesn't. Really doesn't.
How did you pair along with some of those turbo cars that you had to race on that short course race?
Me?
Yeah.
I beat a YXZ.
Easy, son, easy.
Smoked him. Look at the video. I beat him so bad that I slowed down at the finish line and just coasted in.
Nice. I saw that. Dude, those RS1s though are they're so freaking badass, man.
Yeah.
But then
to the credit of the YXZs, they just didn't have the suspension to compete in the ruts that you guys were making. So they may have gave you a little more run for your money.
Oh, were they just dragging skids the whole time?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Like when they'd go up the big hill to make the turn, that's where you could see they'd start pulling. And then when they had to run the 2-track, they weren't there.
Yeah, I could see that.
Now that being said, Packard and his YXZ won the unlimited drags with quite some display of power. So he did a really good job there.
Yeah.
But then I got smoked by a Turbo S, and then, I mean, we're not even going to talk about. I didn't get smoked by a Turbo S. I had a good run at him until I got to the cross section. I got lost where the track went, and got lost where that track went, and went outside the track and plowed the rut all the way to the top.
Each one of you, I think, in your group rode the berm at least once for at least 40, 50 feet.
I know Brent did it for sure, and I did it for sure, 100%. And
you guys were out to reshape the course, I think.
Yeah, my last race was against Wyatt Hastings, so we're not going to talk about that.
Because he had you covered.
Oh, dude, I even asked him, I'm like, Wyatt, give me like a 10-car length, like head start, and I want the inside line. And he's like, you can have the inside.
Did he still wax you though?
Oh yeah, I mean his car's probably 300 horsepower at least.
Wow.
Yeah,
he's got that thing pretty hopped up, and it's pretty well built. It's built, the cage and all that stuff is built by Concept Designs by Al McBeth's company. So it's real strong, real stiff. It doesn't have any kind of give to it, and all that horsepower goes straight to the ground.
Yeah, and so like when we'd go to whip it around the barrels, even during barrel racing, it was like he could just stop at the barrel and like it looked like he grabbed the e-brake and just whipped it around the barrel and then whipped it around the next barrel and then whipped it around the next barrel and was done.
Nice.
18 seconds.
Dude, that's so. What was the Huckfest thing still like? Was that because it didn't look like it was as gnarly as it was last year? Actually, wait. Before we answer that, how far is the furthest you've ever sent a side by side, Max?
Oh, not very far at all.
Yeah, just keeping the wheels on the ground.
Yeah.
I think I've only gone, I think it was 150 feet or so like that. Like it wasn't like, but it wasn't massive like what these guys were doing at like 30 feet off the ground. It was only like 15 or 20 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad.
I'm going to say mine's probably 30 feet.
You'd be surprised. 30 feet goes a lot faster than you think. Like just
on the night ride, I ran over a roller a little too fast and sent it about 30 feet. So
yeah.
Were you panic rev the whole time, just like riding the nose or what?
It was gone faster than you even realized. You kind of had to rethink about what you just did and what happened. And like, oh yeah, I flew. I need to slow down.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
But Huckfest.
I think my second jump I did 72 feet, and I don't quote me on it, but the first jump was 65, and the second jump I had probably 200 yards more of run at it, so I had to have gone a little bit further. But like I was like going up the jump, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna jump, and it's all boom, and I hit the landing already. I was like, dang it.
Oh, because you were too close to the ground.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna go further. We just
the thing about Huckfest is that, you know, when we get to the event to set up the short course and the Huck Hill and the Willie Hill and all that stuff, we're at the mercy of the weather and the topography and what the season's done to how it all lays out. You know, there's some familiarity every year with how it all looks, but you know, this year one of the biggest limitations of the campground that we do that at is that there's not a whole lot of camping. And so the owner of the dunes there, he extended the dunes another 80 campsites or whatever it was. But by doing that, he ate up all the location that we normally run, you know, all these activities. And so we had to find all new topography to create a short course, a whole new hill to jump off of, a whole new everything. So we got there, and we kind of found a place that we thought would work, and lo and behold, it really didn't have anything of a top or a landing. You were basically going to be hugging the flat. And Brandon Raddick, he won the contest this year with 141 feet. But to make this happen and to make it safe enough to actually jump, we had dozers up there, big D6s, I think, pushing thousands of yards of sand to create a whole new mountain of sand for people to go off of. And at the same time, not only are they creating a huck jump for the average user, they're also creating a jump for Al McBeth.
Yeah.
And so they have to take into consideration the angles, the approach, the run up, the lead down, the safety zone for the onlookers. There's a lot that goes into it. And some people were kind of upset with how it laid out and how the viewing angles were. But, you know, honestly, we did the best we could with what we had as far as the location goes. And I thought it turned out pretty well. And, you know, they made, I think for Al, they were doing like a 100-foot gap with like a 75-foot tabletop. And that then was kind of utilized also with the Huck Fest for all the users like the 212 and the D&D guys. And basically what ended up happening was because of the short course racing went so long, everybody was at Huck Hill on the backside of the racing, waiting for Huck Fest to happen. And they started to trample the jump and started taking off the face of the lip. And, so there was some negatives that were against us on that. And beyond that, it got really warm out. It got kind of baked. And so it got a lot more fluffy than it was the day before. Right. And so the run up to the jump got a lot slower, a lot softer. And the takeoff just changed basically overnight. Yeah, and we couldn't do anything about it.
It was like this when they had it built. And then it kind of went like that. So then you kind of had to run this little tiny notch at the top, and then you took off.
That's the one thing that happens with sand is it doesn't keep its consistency for very long.
Right. I mean, it was still a blast. Like I'm running, 500 yards away as fast as the car can go, and I'm like, sweet. But it was still cool regardless. And jumping in front of 10,000 people, that was rad.
Yeah, and that's what it really comes down to is that experience and the memories that you have from it. And, everybody, participating is going to have great memories from that. And everybody that was standing right there is going to have great memories from that. The only ones that are going to be grumpy about it are the ones that are grumpy about everything. So we're not really worried about it. Everyone had a great time. Everybody had tons of videos, pictures to post. It's just been a constant flood of positivity from the community. And we can't wait to take that forward into the next events.
It will be pretty cool. I mean, like I was already pretty amazed at how good you guys did at this event. Like there's so much going on and there's so many connecting pieces. There's so many people, like it's an ever-changing environment. There's so much stuff to take into consideration. And for it to be managed that well is pretty impressive in itself. So the only place that can go is up.
Yeah. And I think when, for the most part, these events, while they're huge, they still have relatively low exposure. And I think this year, a lot of the SoCal boys showed up and a lot of the Midwest guys showed up to really kind of put it over the map, over the top. And I think next year, or just even continuing into this year, I think Utah, Oregon this year basically doubled its size. And I think Utah last year was not advertised. It was not promoted. It basically was just a show up event. And we already had an event almost the size of Oregon. So I think this year, once we start talking about it, start getting into it, start promoting it, and, guys like Kyle and his crew can start talking about it, it's really going to be one of the biggest events ever for off-road in the country. And I think it's going to be one of those things that you're not going to want to miss out on come this fall.
Yeah, the Pro Ego guys said the same thing. They loved it and they'll be back again. So one question came through. I just forgot. I saw the comment come through or the question come through, but they said, how were the night rides?
Dude. You want to go, Zach, or do you want... Oh, man. I have a video. I haven't posted it yet, but every night we joined in. I think we joined in. At least I did every night on the night ride, except for Saturday night. But Friday night was insane. We went all the way to the end, and then we're like, let's sit here and wait and see how many people leave, because they run from one end all the way to the other, and then when they get to the other end, they run back. Well, when we got to the other end, we're like, let's see how many people actually do this. And so I have a video of everybody leaving, and I'm talking 6 to 10 people wide for a minute and a half.
Dude. That sounds like a Ayresburg rodeo start.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy when you're up on the dunes facing the launch of what I call the swarm. They kind of just start overtaking the whole dune, and it's crazy. You literally stand there for 5 to 10 minutes of just pure throttle, and they're not going slow, they're not going easy, they're going 100%.
Dude, that's so gnarly. Hey, I don't want to kick everybody off or anything like that, but Zach, I know you guys are going to do a recap, I'm sure, on the Side by Side Guys podcast. And I just kind of wanted to briefly get into it. Today's Max's show, so I'm sure he likes hearing this stuff. But I wanted to get Billy Slade on because I wanted to see if we could talk a little bit of trash, especially on John as well, about the water skimming stuff. And maybe we'll even do something on a live feed for Instagram as well. But maybe give us a little bit of a hint of when you guys are going to have a recap on your podcast.
So while we're at the event, we recorded all 4 days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, with the UTV Takeover athletes. So we'll have podcasts with Wyatt Hastings and his sponsor, Addiction Power Sports, BJ Leach. We'll have Wyatt Hastings. We'll have Ruslan, Al Macbeth, Blake Wilkie, along with Russ from Buggy Whips and the monster truck. Oh, we had a monster truck there. I don't know if anyone said that. We had a monster truck at the dunes. And that sounds fun. So as soon as the short course was done racing, we had the monster truck fire up and start tearing up the course. It was pretty awesome.
Kyle, did you get to drive the monster truck?
I wish.
Dude, same here.
I wouldn't even have
that's seriously bucket list for me. I totally want to drive a monster truck.
And so I got the chance to climb up in there and put some GoPros in there. It was pretty fun to sit up in the monster truck on the dunes. I can only imagine how fun it was for him. But yeah, so we have 4 podcasts to put out, and then we'll also be recording a podcast on the wrap up from that this week. So we got a bunch of podcasts going to be coming out in rapid fire. And then those were all filmed in the Off-Road Syndicate trailer with Rugged Radios and HCR, all those guys that support our community. And I just wanted to do a big shout out to all those brands that do come out to these events, that do lay down money to vend and sponsor these kind of communal events, because our community is so close knit that these kind of events are unique and can only be done and possible because of sponsors like them. So,
yeah, I agree 100%. Hey, Kyle, it sounds like we got some weird audio. Will you jump off and jump back on real quick?
Yeah, let me get off and get back on.
Cool, thanks, man. Dude, it's so cool to see that the UTV scene is not just the UTV Takeover, just in general, but the great job that you guys are doing, showing people all of these fun different events, what UTVs can do, like doing a little short course race, the jumping, everything. I mean, Max is good at showing everybody in the racing environment and, the top level of everything. But it's so cool to see the enthusiasts get the chance to kind of bridge the gap in between the racing and all of this really, really high level stuff like what Max does, and try to just show their skills in the side-by-side, man. Like, you guys are doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, and again, it comes down to people that are willing to work with us and be patient with us and to support us financially, support us with their media efforts like 212 and D&D. You guys, the opportunity to come on here and talk about it. Like, we all grow and benefit working together. And I haven't seen another industry that works as close as the UTV industry does. And it's unique, it's amazing, and it's why I love being here.
Yeah, 100%, man. Well, hey, so we're gonna have a little bit of trash talking. I don't know if you want to jump in the comments here and hang out with us, but I'm gonna see if I can get Kyle and Billy Slade to talk a little bit of trash to each other on who did the best skimming over the water crossings.
Well, I don't know about those good boys. I haven't seen anybody do a wheelie across the water crossing, but Blake Wilkie did. So I'm going to represent Blake Wilkie.
Oh, right on.
And now,
yeah, just let me clutch kick next time.
Yeah, I'll put the caveat on there that he had the bug out there, so it was a little bit of an unfair advantage. But
well, Zach, you're more than welcome to stay on with us. The only thing that I have to say is you can see us 4 wide on Instagram, but on the Facebook and the YouTube feed, we won't be able to see your face. We'll only be able to hear the audio.
I don't want to distract from Billy's model face. His blue steel. So,
he is looking pretty good over there for a whole week being gone.
Hey, I just shaved and did my hair for the first time in about 2 weeks. So I'm rolling opposite of you guys. You got the long hair with the beards and the hats, and I'm just over here hanging. So
well, I don't want to distract from the glow, so I'll step out and I'll stay in the comments.
It's my perfect lighting. Hey, thanks for everything, Zach. I appreciate everything while we were there. So
yeah, Zach, you're a badass, and thank you to Ian and everybody that participated. I know there's a million people behind the scenes, though, you could thank. Please, obviously, thank you very much. He just dipped out.
That's why I had to go sit in my car.
Why? Is it too loud over there or what?
I got 2 babies and 2 dogs, so
I'm back.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Billy. All right. So let's get this whole debate going here. So we had a little fun on Instagram saying who did it better. Either you, Billy, Kyle, or he can't defend himself. That's why I'm laughing. Or John. So
John doesn't count
because he's not on here.
He got so sideways and it almost went over on him.
Really?
So he's out.
I don't think that really kicks him out. I think that gives him a little bit of extra flair, dude.
Damn.
Hey, so there's a bunch more videos. I probably did that water crossing, I would say honestly at least 30 times. There was a couple of times where water came over, my car physically stopped in the water, and like a tidal wave just came over and drenched me. And once I was soaking wet and freezing, I was like, well, let's just keep doing this.
May as well.
Luckily, I got that out of the way the first time, and I was like, well, I'm already wet, so just keep going.
How bad does it mess up the cars though? Because doesn't it get water in the clutch compartment and stuff like that, or like is it okay?
Well, they have frog skins on them, so I mean it holds most of the water out, and with the heat from the clutch, I mean, I'm sure keep doing it. I was doing it at first with no clutch cover until I finally was in the water long enough, and then my car hit the rev limiter and just stopped.
Dang, so you must have did it like 100 times.
So then Brandon from HCR has a brand new Turbo S, so I stole his clutch cover so I could keep doing it.
That's hilarious, man. So was it pretty fun? Like I've never done it in a UTV, so give me a little bit of maybe just give me the anticipation of the first time and how you guys felt. You go first, Billy, and then Kyle can go.
Got it. So I had never done it. I'd seen it a million times, and I really honestly didn't know if you did it in 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive. Like I didn't know if you were just supposed to hit it full peg. I mean, I didn't even know what was in the water. So there was a lot of questions I had. I kind of drove through the water real slow just to kind of see how deep it was, make sure there wasn't some stump that I was going to next thing, hit and rip it, destroy my car on or cut a tire or something. So Rick Dunehor was recording, and I just said, well, I'm just going to start way back there and just keep it floored until the car physically slows down.
So you did go 4-wheel drive then?
No, I went 2-wheel drive, and I'll be honest, I think the further you go, 4-wheel drive is better. But if you want to go fast, shorter, 2-wheel drive.
Because it lifts up the front a little bit?
Yeah, and it just kind of plants the back, and you really use those paddles to just kind of project you, and then you're kind of using your front tires as, I would say steer, but you're not really steering. You're just kind of
going.
Yeah, you're going with the wind.
What about you, Kyle? How was your first time?
The first time it was super sketchy. Luckily, the section I ran through, like 30 minutes before that, we were riding back with Blake, and he just like hit it mid-ride in the bug. And I was like, well, at least I know nothing's there. So when we're like, hey, let's go film something. Let's go pond skip. So we just went after it, and we went back to the same spot where we knew nothing was in the middle and went through it. First time, too slow, front end dive down, got soaked. And I was like, all right, screw this. I'm hitting it full speed as fast as the car can go. And went through it full speed. Not a drop hit me, I swear.
And you don't have a windshield, do you?
No windshield.
Billy's got a windshield, so he's a little bit more bougie than all of us.
But the problem is when the water takes over it, when it splashes on it, it just blinds you. You don't have like a visor you can just wipe real quick. So
you can't see shit then.
Yeah, and it doesn't have any like Rain-X or wax on it or anything, so it just looks like a car that's been neglected for years. It just kind of streams in front of the windshield and blurs everything.
Oh man. Well, so out of since John can't defend himself, who's going to be the winner in your mind, Kyle?
Dune Destroy.
I knew it.
I mean, hey, in all fairness, they do have the name right off the bat. So I mean, that's already one notch in their belt to start with.
And I did it with half your horsepower.
That is true.
Oh, well, there we go. Big Hill Media says they're the only RS1 out there skimming.
Hey, but did you do it from the north end to the south end the entire distance? Because that hasn't been shown yet. It showed us going at like a 45, but we went from all the way north, all the way south down towards Bender Row.
Did you guys hit that full wood or what? Like, how fast do you have to hit that? Were you going, what, 60?
Yeah, I'd say 60 to 70, something like that. I mean, I don't know. We probably had a 1,000-foot run, and it was full pinned the entire time, like I said, until the car just slowed down, so...
That's honestly really sketchy, because if you just like slide a little bit and then like a paddle catches or you move your foot on the throttle, you could wad it up big time.
Yeah, I made sure my harnesses were extra tight.
Yeah, and never ever let off. Keep that freaking back wheel spinning.
Yes.
If you watch,
but like Kyle was just saying, it's crazy because you're just going, and as soon as your front end dives, I mean, even just an inch, it literally, your front tires go down. And it almost stopped. I would say it stops the car within 20 to 25 feet. And just this water gush that you've been creating behind you catches up to you and just hits you.
Dude, that's gnarly. And if you're sliding, like, you know, when you hydroplane in a car on the street, like you can, like, you're going way faster than that in these with the paddles and stuff. So if it catches, you're going to go over big time.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys get sideways at all or no?
Yeah. If you watch, I think it's like day 2 or day 3 recap. John finally got his car running long enough to go play. And went and hit it because he saw us.
Did you hear that little dig he gave to John right there?
And so he went to go hit it, and his car starts going full sideways. And if you listen to the video, you can hear it going, like it's starting to like. It was close. It was close. He almost didn't save it.
Yeah, that just seems super sketchy. Well, I do think it's cool that all you guys did that. Obviously, the videos that you guys posted on social media, if anybody hasn't checked it out yet, go to the Dune Destroy page or Billy's page, BS 24/7 365, I think it is, right?
Yeah, that's what it is. Hey, we also got some more video 4 wide in that.
Really?
We went 4 wide.
Nice.
It was me, Shannon in the Pro XP4, Ruslan in his Turbo S, and Brant 212 in the Can-Am 4-seater.
Dang.
Well, it sounds like we got a show off next year, 2022 in Oregon.
You got to go 8 wide?
Let's go 8 wide.
Hey, either that or we can just pick 2 teams, throw a little bit of money on it, and then have a viewer's choice.
There you go.
Hey, but it'll have to be posted on a neutral page.
Yeah, you're not going to win if you got the Dune and Destroy page. They already got 70,000 people.
Exactly. That's why it has to go to a neutral page.
The Dirt Life doesn't want any part of this, okay? There's too much competition.
And there's no YXZ involved, so he's out.
Hey, easy, man. I've been stepping into all kinds of different ones. I drove a Honda the other day. I drove a Turbo S the other day. I drove a RS1. Like, I'm all over the place, man. I'm a universal. I'm Switzerland over here.
That's the second time I've heard that comment in a week.
What, Switzerland?
Yeah, I had a buddy just say, he's like, I'm like Switzerland. And I looked at him like, all right, I get it.
I thought that was common knowledge. Have you heard that term before? Yeah, I thought that was common knowledge.
Sounds like, well, look, people are saying we might have to turn pond skipping into an event. Look,
here we go.
About we'll bring our team. Will you bring your team? Let's turn water skipping into an event.
You bring your crew. I'll bring my crew.
We just gotta pray for rain because that pond that's there is all fresh water from rains.
Right.
So I mean, you can tell by the last day it was drying up pretty good.
Oh, okay.
So.
Well, the last day would be probably the safest day to do it then, so that you're not skipping across a mad lake.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, better competition the further you go, and I guess the crowd pleaser.
Oh, here we go. Billy just wants people to sink their cars.
Yeah, how deep is it? A foot and a half, 2 feet?
I was pond skip one. We had the Wheel Pros like camera rig trying to film us, and he's like, hit that water, and I didn't check it out first, and I was like, all right, I've already was water skipping all day yesterday. It shouldn't be no problem. I hit it, and it was a solid 2 feet deep in the middle, and I was not prepared for it. Luckily, it was a shorter run, but it was way deeper. So I got to the other side soon enough, but it was diving, and I felt it going, and then it grabbed the dirt.
And 2 feet, like that doesn't sound like that much when you're standing there, like with your leg, but 2 feet can swallow a tire easy. Yeah. That could do some serious damage.
Yeah. Yep. I got some video of doing donuts in the water too.
No way.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right, so pay attention to both the Dune Destroy and to Billy's social media as well. Dusty Summit, Jason over there says, "Yo, I heard Dune Destroy is getting into overlanding."
What?
Oh, overland and destroy.
Maybe if they're looking at Shannon's rig, I mean, he's got a roof rack and all kinds of stuff on it. But you know what? He packs all the spare tools and all the to get us out, you know?
Hey, thanks for sending one of those over, Dusty. We just set Shannon up for a good one right there.
Look at someone said they've done 80 yards in a 12-foot deep pond skip.
Oh, my God. Are you serious? Dude, that's gnarly. Hey,
side by side?
so whoever that was, I just can't see the comments, but whoever that was that commented, send a message to Dune Destroy or to Billy, because you're the #1 person in this competition next year for sure.
Yeah, so you've seen the stuff from Trail Hero too, from the episode that's on Amazon Prime. They did some water skipping at Trail Hero, not last year, so 2019, and that's an actual lake, so I know that had to have been 3 or 4 or 5 feet deep, which I mean, it's got to be perfect, like entry ramp level, like the water just grazes right up to the shore to hit it, because as soon as it gets deep, if you slump off at all, the car's just gonna dive.
Dude,
stick with it all day, champ. He's the wheelie champ. That I met him at a UTV Takeover.
Oh, okay.
Who is it?
He's the one that won the jump contest and the wheelie contest.
Oh, dang. So he's just killing the contest. Now he wants to win the freaking skim contest that you guys are trying to come up with.
That George is over here instigating.
Hey, I'm trying to be Switzerland, remember?
That's right.
Dude, it sounds like you guys really did have a good time. Is there anything that we missed when we were talking to Zach earlier that was some fun behind the scenes stuff that happened? Well, you guys were probably in different positions, so maybe each one of you guys can answer it. Kyle, what kind of fun stuff and shenanigans did you get into that was behind the scenes?
A lot of stuff that you don't see is like all the sick little tree runs that are in the sand dunes and going up hills and hitting a berm shot in a tree, then back into the sand dunes and back into the trees. Like that to me was so cool because it's so picturesque, and then it's insane. It's so awesome.
That's not the answer I was looking for. I was thinking like John was out there wearing a mankini or something like that.
Actually, John, for the most part, behaved himself. Not the normal shenanigans.
Right on. Here we go, dude.
I was surprised.
Anybody in your camp wearing mankinis, Billy?
I got some friends that do some wild stuff, but I try to camp a little bit further away from them to just kind of. We did have a little wager in the short course race. So it was myself, Chris, the owner of XTC Power Sports, his daughter, Pete from Pro Armor, and then Brandon from HCR Racing. So me and Brandon have had this little competition going since Glamis New Year's. We did the first inaugural No Mas Pantalones race, which we'll have to save that for a whole nother episode, because that's it was late night by a campfire. That one got thought up, and some of the stuff was a little bit too much to post on social media. But so I won that first race on a technicality. Brandon didn't follow the rules to the T. I will give him a partial credit on that one because I did win it on a technicality, but this one, it was everybody pitched in $50, so there was a $250 purse. Everybody got 2 laps, and we had a timer and somebody videoing. So it was everybody got 2 laps to basically their best time. And my first attempt went around. I was a quarter second faster than Brandon, which in the interviews, Brandon was like, I don't care about beating anybody. I just want to beat Billy. And I said the same exact thing. And we got videotaped at different times. So my second run, I put my car on its side.
Oh,
so
there we go.
Didn't count, but guess what? My first run was good enough, and I took the money home.
Yeah, right on. We got a couple comments coming in. Corey Levin said that he saw you doing that water crossing, Billy, and that you were freaking smashing it. So, and then Sick With It All Day says, Zach, you got to hit Moses up for some of the footage for these guys. Yeah, it would be pretty cool to see all of it. So it looks like Zach's already on top of it. Hey, guys, so we're going to get into Max's story a little bit here. We're going to go to commercial break in just a second. Do you guys have any suggestions or comments on rally racing?
I do. It's awesome. You guys are like the athletes of endurance. So
Yeah.
Good to meet you, Max. We've never formally been introduced, but keep killing it, and congrats on the Polaris contract. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna try hard to make it out to Sand Hollow. That's not too far from my place. I'm up in Barstow, so hopefully link up with you guys up there.
It would be pretty cool.
Check out what you got going on.
I'd like to get up there too, so maybe we could all hang out.
Yep.
Yeah, and Kyle, I'm going to come run with you guys next time we're at the same event, because I know we were at Trail Hero last year and just now this event and at Glamis for New Year's, and we've all kind of always been,
we always miss each other. Like you've met John, but like I've never met you, but we always talk to each other and we know who each other are, but we just always miss each other.
Yep, they call that ships passing in the night.
Okay, so Switzerland, ships passing in the night. We got any more? A penny saved is a penny earned.
That's a pirate term.
What do you think about rally racing, Kyle? Especially in RS1.
I really need somebody to explain to me rally notes, because I really want to learn that. It seems very cool.
Hey, well, if you got time, we're going to get into that, because that's one of the hottest topics that I have for the night too. So after the commercial break, we're going to talk about it. So if you feel like it, join us in that.
Yeah, because that sounds super confusing, but sounds like it works really well.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you're more than welcome to jump back on Instagram. If not, then you can hit us in the comments and stuff too. Like I said, it looks like you guys had such a great time at UTV Takeover. We're all jealous, and we're going to try to hit it up and when it goes to Utah.
Sounds good. We'll see you there.
George.
Yeah, thank you, boys. We appreciate it.
All right, guys. Have a good evening. Guys. Thank you.
Later, guys. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thanks. See you guys. Dude, so when we came back from Baja, you were down there. I came back and I was tired as hell, and I still couldn't get out of my head how good of a time it was. Like when we crossed the border, I was like, all right, I want to go back.
Yeah.
It sounds like these guys had the same amount of fun, right? Like doing a different event.
Dude, like, I don't know. It's just one of those things where you go out and wherever you're at in the world or in your life or whatever, and you go out and you have a good time with friends and buddies and stuff. It's like you come back to reality and back to work, and you're like, God, like, I want to go back.
Yeah.
It's an addiction for sure.
My life isn't as complete unless I'm out there with my friends and family.
Yep, 100%.
I totally agree with that. Well, we're going to talk about some of that stuff in just a little bit here. We're going to go to a commercial break for a little bit. So we hope that you guys, the Instagram feed is going to stay live so you guys can see the behind the scenes, us walking around or whatever. We're going to go to commercial break on the Facebook and YouTube feed. So if you guys want, you guys can jump over there, see a little bit more professional production. But we're going to get into Max's story in a little bit. We're going to talk about all kinds of cool things like family, friends, growing up with dirt bikes and all kinds of different stuff. So it's going to be a really cool, fun little story to get into with Max. We got his son Connor here, so we might even pull up another chair and have him join us as well. So we're going to go to commercial break. We will be right back with Max Eddy.
Hello, I'm Justin, the founder of Shock Therapy. Shock Therapy has been around for 5 years, but we have personally been tuning suspension on off-road cars and race vehicles for over 25 years. We tune between 10 and 15 cars per day, every single day of the week. Our concentration is tuning shock systems and supplying components that improve the ride quality of your car in many ways. Not only do we work on the average UTV, but we also tune suspension for race teams and professional drivers. We currently tune for over 87 race teams in Best in Desert and Score. Our clients and race teams rely on our suspension components to allow them to win races and keep them safe. Suspension is a moving target. We are always trying to hit that target with every customer that we work with. Each customer's needs can be different, and we tune our kits accordingly. Our research and development never stops. We improve our components every single day. As the industry evolves and improves, so do our parts and kits. As of right now, we have over 100 products for UTVs. So when you bring your car to us, you have the satisfaction of knowing that you have the most experience, the highest quality products, and the fact that your car is being tuned specifically to you.
Zollinger Racing builds the best aftermarket products available. Products for your UTV or snowmobile, including billet radius rods, billet tie rods, billet steering knuckles, billet steering racks, alternator kits, and much more. All manufactured in the United States in-house at their headquarters in Nibley, Utah. Travis Zollinger and his team test in some of the most brutal conditions, racing in places like the Best in the Desert Mint 400, Ultra 4 King of the Hammers, UTV World Championships, and many more. Visit ZollingerRacingProducts.com and use the code DIRTLIFE to get 10% off your next purchase, and join us on social media at Zollinger Racing Products to see our products in action. Zollinger Racing, the best products, period. Finally, we got Lance from Solderweld in the studio. Thanks for coming down, bud. Hey, why don't we just record a commercial now?
Yeah, why not? So good to be here, man. It's been a lot. I've been trying to get down here forever, and I wanted to talk about the off-road kit.
Dude, I love those things. I got it in my pack.
Yeah, we're running hundreds of vehicles now running them, whether it's a UTV or some guy's got it in a backpack on his motocross. He's got everything he needs to make a fix right there on the fly, out on the trail, or in the desert, whatever it is.
Well, since I've already used one, I kind of know what to use it for, but explain what it does.
All right, so let's pull one out real quick. You've got your aluminum rods. Remember, they're rods, right? So, light torch, small torch. You can throw it in there or throw it on the rig with your flux. It decontaminates and cleans like let's say a radiator. You get a random rock chip runs through as you're racing. You get a rock chip in a radiator. You got to fix it right there, or you're out of the race.
You can patch it up
You can patch it up. It's all good to go.
Yep, just like welding.
Yeah. Also, as well with that, you've got a brake line fix. So with your flux, you can fix a brake line, stainless steel. And then your hot block, heat absorption putty. So it keeps you from getting burned, number one, as well as keeps the heat from traveling. So it's really nice.
I've used this not even to fix anything. So that stuff works so good, man.
Listen, it's easy. It straps in nicely so that you have everything you need in one little place, and you don't have to carry a big bag in
It's like a first aid kit for your vehicle.
Yeah, chase trucks have it as well, so that if they need to make a fix on the fly, they can get it done and get it done quick and get you back in the race.
Dude, those things are so cool. All right, so it's at Solderweld on Instagram, Facebook, and solderweld.com.
Awesome.
All right, thanks, bud.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys, we are back. Sorry for the confusion with the commercials. It looked like something happened with our software. But anyways, thank you guys very much for joining us and hanging out. We're going to have an awesome rest of the show. It's going to be pretty cool because we're going to get into a lot of Max's backstory. And we got a new friend joining us over here. What's up, Connor? How are you?
Good, how are you?
So Connor is Max's son. Connor's got some clout himself. He's pretty fast. What are you in, 125 schoolboy now, or what is it?
125 BC. And
Okay, put the mic a little closer to your mouth. So 125 BC?
And then schoolboy BC.
Nice, dude. So you're already getting up there, huh?
Somewhat, yeah. We're working to get up there.
Nice. You got to put a little bit closer or talk a little bit louder. But yeah, it'll be pretty cool to talk with Max about his story, what he's got coming in the future, his new Polaris contract, and man, he just got a new Fox sponsorship too. So like I said before, Max has done quite a bit in his off-road racing tenure. He's obviously a great father, but he's done some really cool stuff, man. He's won the Baja 1000 with him and his team. I think it was the Honda team, right?
Honda and Kawasaki.
He's also had a little bit of side-by-side racing. He's sat in the passenger seats for some fantastic people like Robbie Gordon during the Dakar Rally. I think you helped out the Matlocks one year in their efforts at the Dakar Rally. And just recently, he almost won the Sonora Rally in RS1, which is an accomplishment in itself, being able to read what's called a road book and without a co-driver, doing it by yourself while you're still paying attention to driving. So like I said, man, welcome Max Eddy to the show. We really appreciate you coming down from the high desert, buddy.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and excited to be here. And
how hot was it up there though? Because it's hot as shit down here in Elsinore.
It got warm, man. I think it was 110 today. 110 up there.
Yeah, we were pretty close. We were 108 down here. So it'll be pretty cool to talk with Max and get a little bit more insight. So I don't know where Max grew up at. So maybe you can give us a little bit of details on growing up and how you got into motorsports.
I grew up in Barstow. So obviously that's what we did. We ride dirt bikes up there, and my dad rode dirt bikes and raced dirt bikes professionally for a long time. And my dad was actually Mitch Payton's first factory rider when Mitch Payton owned Anaheim Husqvarna still before Pro Circuit.
Really?
So, yep, my dad has a long history of racing off-road. He still races every weekend. He's 60, he'd be 66 this September, and he still races every weekend.
Does when you guys, all three of you guys, excuse me, Max, and Connor get together, is it a big competition on who's fastest or what?
Not so much anymore. Grandpa just, their dad,
or does the young gun,
him.
Does the young gun show you up, or are you still as fast as Connor over here?
No, like we do a big couple rides a year down in Mexico and stuff, and we take the razors down, and he takes his dirt bike, and they just take off and haul ass, and then they make a wrong turn, and we got to put them in their place and be like, hey, But yeah, we have fun.
Biles says, "What's up, guys?" Dusty Summit says, "Max, have you done any XC mountain bike racing? I am training right now and hope to enter my first race in September."
I have. I've done some cross-country mountain bike races. I've done some Super D mountain bike races.
Look at you, Mr. Fitness.
And I've done a little bit of everything, man. If it's got two wheels, there's a good chance that I've raced it.
How did you do with the mountain bike stuff?
It was good. Like I pedal every day to stay in shape for dirt bike racing, and it was hot down in the desert, and it was an off weekend from racing, so we're like, hey, let's go to Big Bear and try some cross-country mountain bike races. And it was a struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure,
How did you end up doing?
Oh, man, I don't know. I
Got
don't even
smoked?
think. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Dang. Well,
Yep.
that still sounds like it's fun, though, especially while getting out of the heat is just fun by itself, right?
It was fun, and then I did a Super D mountain bike race where I was thinking, hey, this is going to be just all downhill, and just going for it, and it wasn't, so I wasn't prepared for that. It was more a little bit of cross country, a little bit of downhill, a lot of climbing. So,
have you ever done any mountain bike races, Connor?
No, I haven't. I just go up to Sky Park and Big Bear and stuff and just
crush the jumps.
Yeah, just go with my buddies.
That does sound fun, though. I've got since moving to California, I've gotten the invite to go up there and check it out, but I haven't been able to because I've been working. But it sounds like it would be super cool to go up there. Like, how is it up there? Is it gnarly or?
No, basically at Sky Park, it's pretty sweet. You just pedal up a mountain there's a little trail that you pedal up. You pedal up it and then ride back down on the downhill, and it takes you about probably 15 minutes to ride up it. And then there's a selection of trails you go on, and they're all pretty sweet. They're all just jumps. They all flow. They're pretty fun.
Yeah, it does sound like it's pretty fun and look like it's pretty fun too. But like, if I'm not like big sender guy anymore, like I'm like more of a got to work on Monday kind of guy.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'd be like hucking the stuff like Connor does.
Yeah,
what about you?
No, probably not.
Have you gone up there lately or no?
I haven't been to Sky Park. I would go to Big Bear and go down the park that they have there in Big Bear, but I haven't.
Oh
been to
wait,
Sky
so they're
Park.
two different places?
Yeah, Sky Park's in Arrowhead.
Oh, okay. So I think I was told about the Big Bear one.
Yeah.
Which one's better, Connor?
I mean, if you want to just go up lifts and then hit big jumps, Big Bear. But if you want more of like a easier wet one,
well, a
Sky
big
Park's
safety
the way.
guy right here. So
Yeah,
should I do the Sky
Park-
Park one
Sky
first?
Park's better for you. Yeah,
Sky Park's all pedaling. There's no lifts to take you back up and top.
I'm into that though.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Me
And
too.
plus, I got the cheater bike with the e-bike, so it'll be a little easier. All right, so you told us a little bit about growing up in the desert. So basically, whenever you wanted to go ride, you just kind of push your bike out the garage and go hit the desert, huh?
Yeah.
A little different than like the typical motocross guy growing up that has to like travel the track and unload kind of thing, or?
Oh, for sure. And that's why we raced off road. We raced desert because for my dad worked a full-time job, and for him to get off work and take us to the track was kind of unheard of,
Yeah.
And in the era that I grew up in racing dirt bikes, you didn't really have to spend 3-4 days a week at the track, to race off road. And me and my brother, we just take off out of the garage and go ride around, burn a bunch of gas up, and come back.
It is pretty cool though, because then you have the freedom to basically be practicing anytime.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of crazy, right?
And we have, like, still to this day, I live right at the edge of the desert, and we got hundreds and hundreds of miles of single track right out my shop
How about for side by side? Do you have stuff to ride side by sides out there too?
Oh
or
yeah,
no?
yeah. We do quite a bit of rides out of there. Shoot, right now we have a good group, about 30 people that we've been going on side by side rides with.
Nice.
Yeah, we do about 5 a year, 5 pretty good rides a year. You know, overnight trips or down to Mexico, or we're going up to Utah and Panguitch area in September, and we just did a big side by side trip this last weekend from my brother's house in Oak Hills up to Silverwood Lake and then on up to Arrowhead.
That sounds pretty cool. Next time you guys go, just hit me up with a text message or something.
Yeah.
I'd like to go on one of those rides. It sounds like it'd be pretty fun.
Yeah, we have a good time.
Okay, so you grew up in the desert, and obviously you have kind of, I guess, your free reign on being able to ride motorcycles and stuff. Fun fact, the reason that we started the Dirt Life show and the reason that we named it what it is because I grew up in a place where there wasn't paved roads. It was all dirt. So it's very similar, and in Arizona, you can go anywhere. You can ride your side-by-side or dirt bike on the street, right? Just as long as it's street legal. So it's basically the same concept. So it's really kind of I don't know what you want to call it, a blessing and a curse at the same time, right? Because it's a blessing because you can go dirt bike riding anytime you want, but it's a curse because you're going to get yelled at when you're a kid by you not being home early enough, right?
Yep. Yeah, no doubt. You know, and you ride down the pavement, you're putting new tires on your dirt bike every other day. You know.
How many times did you get yelled at by your dad that you weren't home early enough because you were out there in the desert?
Dude, when we were kids, we lived couple doors down from a mobile station there, and me and my brother would take our little quad 50 over to the mobile station, ride around in the parking lot, and then the people working it would call my parents, "Hey, your kids are over here in the parking lot and riding around the gas pumps and stuff. You need to come get them." And we were honestly probably 4 or 5 years old at the time.
Just doing your own thing.
We just take off.
Oh, that's so awesome.
We lived on a 30-acre piece of property there, and we had all the dirt and mountains we wanted to ride around, and we'd just go to the local mobile station.
Go down to have some fun.
And terrorize everyone putting gas in their vehicles.
Dude, that's so rad. Pat Martin says, UTV guys, hope we can be on the show someday. Well, you're on the show right now, man. Just threw you a shout out, too. So, yeah, like I said, the Dirt Life show was basically born because we wanted to talk about people that have very similar upbringings, you know, racing, like you're seeing it with Connor right now. Racing, even though it's I don't know what you want to call it, but it's a commodity sport, right? Like you have to really want to do it, but it teaches you so much. It's like, it's literally living your dirt life. And a lot of racers that grow up, they grow up to be stronger people. They grow up to be harder workers. They grow up to be potentially smarter because they put so much effort into their craft. So it really, really gives a backstory to the person that you are now, the person that Connor's growing up to be. To me, that's phenomenal, right? Because it's a tool that processes these people into something that they're for the rest of their lives. I mean, most of these guys, the old guys like your dad, older guys like your dad, and even to the young guys, all of us have the same love and passion and hard work and drive for life.
Yep, no doubt. And it's not very often you come across a salty old guy that's angry about everything in the off-road world, you know?
Yeah, because all they want to do is get back into a truck and hang out or whatever it is, right?
I mean, everyone's super rad in our community, and it's fun to hang out with them. It's, you know.
Being the young gun, have you kind of noticed the same thing, Connor, too? Like older guys, younger guys, everybody's just pumped?
Yeah, pretty much everyone just hangs out.
Yeah, and is that the same with you and your crew, too? Kind of like what your dad explains that him and his crew did when they were younger?
I mean, we're a little different. I don't really have much friends in Barstow that really ride, so it's only me and my dad pretty much. It's just me and him trail ride around since 50s, you know?
Yeah, that's cool. What about when you go to the motocross track, though?
Yeah, I normally hit up a few of my buddies that we go and do motos together. My buddy Slade, we normally ride a lot together, and yeah, I honestly have a small friend group that we ride together with, but yeah, we go to Glen Helen quite a bit, and we all hang out and ride and have a fun time.
Yeah, it's cool.
We got riding in just to go to the buddy's house to see what they're doing, right? Before phones. When I was growing up, we didn't have phones. My parents didn't give me a phone when I was 4 years old or 5 years old or whatever. I don't think I had a phone until I was 17 or whatever. But
it was either walking in the desert, riding your bicycle in the desert, or riding a quad or a dirt bike, right?
I was telling this dude, I said, hey, we didn't just text our buddies to see if we wanted to go ride. Like, we had to ride our bicycles or ride our dirt bike to their house. Say, hey, you guys want to ride?
Exactly.
And then you go ride, not just text
That's the
back in the
exact
day, you know?
That's the exact thing that I'm talking about with the dirt life. It's so crazy. And when we talked about Casey at the beginning of the show, he was we'll call it next door neighbor when we were growing up, but it was probably half a mile away. You know what I mean? So, and the only way we would communicate is just ride our bicycles or a dirt bike over there and knock on the door, just like you said.
Yep, that was it.
Yeah, that's cool. Blaze Racing Services says, "What up, hotties?" Maximus, and throws out the horns. What's Panguitch is super fun. What is that?
So that's Panguitch, Utah. That's where we're gonna go do a ride in September. Yeah.
Oh, that'll be pretty fun, especially get out of the heat.
Yeah, it's southeast of Cedar City, Utah.
It's a pretty nice place up there?
Yeah.
You've been before?
Nice and warm. Or cool, yeah.
Dang, that does sound pretty fun.
Yep.
Well, it'll be neat. She wanted to make sure. She said, "This is Patty."
It's Party, not Patty. Party.
Party, Party. Well, hey, so I wanted to ask another question and kind of get your opinion on it. So you grew up on two wheels. Connor's still interested in two wheels. Your dad's interested in two wheels. But the popularity of side-by-sides is just growing so huge. Is that, like, what made you interested in four wheels and a steering wheel?
You know, I grew up racing four wheels. I had a Class 9 car. I raced 1,600 cars. I've always been involved with, like, off-road racing.
So it goes back further than that for you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I raced Class 9 cars when I was in high school, you know?
Yeah.
So I always did both. I did dirt bikes and four wheels for quite a while, and I loved to race anything. I'd go spectate at the Moore races or the Score Fireworks 250 when it was out in Barstow way back when, and I just said, man, I would want to do anything, you know? So you get a little bit older, and, you know, I was a kid. I didn't have money to build my own race car or do it. So I'm like, okay, well, how can I race that and be able to race competitively? I'm like, well, I got to start on my dirt bike.
Right.
I got to make a name for myself on a dirt bike, and I got to maybe get picked up by someone or whatever. And that's kind of, I mean, I've had a plan of I want to race dirt bikes. I want to, when I get older, I want to move into a four wheel to prolong my career in off-road racing a little bit longer. And kind of, that was my plan. I just kind of stuck to it, and it has came to life so far.
Yeah, it's actually doing pretty good now. And that's kind of why I asked that question, is because the advent of the side-by-sides has given a lot of people the opportunity to get into off-road racing that weren't able to in the past. You know, you don't have to custom build something. You can go down to the dealership and you can buy extra parts to fix it on the racetrack and stuff. So it's really, really cool. Well, going back to what you're talking about, like with the dirt bikes and the cars and stuff like that, now the side-by-sides are basically as fast as a 10 car.
Yeah.
You know, it just depends on what it is. When you're talking about the cars that you raced before, how does it compare to racing side-by-sides now?
Like, you know, a Class 9 car, it's a budget bug class. It's super limited. It's a weak transmission, and you basically just had to finish them. You couldn't really race them, you know, because they would break or whatever. The side-by-sides have just come so far, man, and I couldn't believe my first race. I didn't have help from anyone, you know, and I borrowed my cousin John's Turbo S, and it was literally bone stock. And I went out and raced it at one of the local races out there. And there was
that the black one that I've seen on your social media?
Yep. There was 120 entries at this local race out in the desert, this DP4 series that we do, and it's still growing. And
one of our mutual friends, Ryan Edwards at KMC, he's a big fan of those DP4 races.
Went out and did that in a bone stock Polaris Turbo S and got second overall.
Nice,
behind Chris and Patty Blaze's car.
Oh, so he's the one that messed up you getting the victory.
Yeah, Chris is hard to beat out there, you know, and it's funny because I raced with Chris on dirt bikes. He's a tad bit older than me, and I was always found myself chasing him on the dirt bike, and now I'm find myself chasing him in the side-by-sides too. So
he's an all-time legend, right? Like very similar to what you are, though. He kind of grew up in the same area and worked his way into doing the Dakar and things like that. We've had Chris on the show before, so if you guys want to go check it out, look in the past episodes and the archives on the dirtlifeshow.com, and you can see Chris Blaze's interview. He's a fantastic interview as well as a fantastic human being in general. So well, going on the dirt bike theme, I'm a huge proponent of safety. Yep. I don't like getting hurt or seeing people get hurt. But dirt bikes are the inevitable beast, I guess you could say. I see you have a pretty big scar on your arm, so maybe you could talk to us a little bit more about that type of stuff happening in motocross or in off-road, and then the transition to being able to compete on four wheels?
Yeah, everyone says in the dirt bike world, especially racing off-road, desert, Baja, wherever you're at, even in motocross, it's not a matter of if you're going to crash. It's a matter of when you're going to crash. It happens to everyone. And I've had my fair share of crashes down in Mexico, especially. Not. I've been really lucky up here in the States. The Hare and Hound Series and Best in Desert Series been pretty lucky up here. And I actually, to be honest with you, I've only had one big crash down in Mexico of my 17 years racing down there, and that's
take us through that a little bit.
That's when I did that. So we won. It was 2015 San Felipe 250, 2015. We had just won the 1X plate on the Monster Energy Kawasaki bike for Precision Concepts and THR Motorsports. So fast forward, after that year, we won every single race in 2014.
Dang, you guys are on a roll.
Yeah, it was the first time that the Honda had been beaten in I don't know how many years or whatever, but we won 2014, won everything in 14. 2015 shows up, first race of the year, San Felipe 250. I think Ricky Brabeck gave me the bike in first or second overall, and I was out past the diesel generators by Laguna Salada, and I don't know what I hit, but I hit something, and it knocked me out pretty good, and broke both my arms, and that took a pretty good spill. So I was able to gather myself up and ride in a ways to the first campsite I seen, and it was actually a Mag 7 pit, and I pulled in there to have these guys fix my throttle because I was like, hey, my throttle's not working. I was loopy. My bike didn't have no front fender, no rear fender. It didn't have a seat on it.
Oh, so you were cuckoo.
Yeah. I probably crashed doing 70 plus, I would imagine, 75, 80 mile an hour.
And clearly not knowing what happened, you were probably,
Yeah, and I had some of my buddies pull up to me because I was just sitting on the seat, cruising, and hey, are you all right? And I just looked at him and didn't say nothing to him.
Ghost-eyed?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I was definitely pretty loopy. So I pull up to this pit and I have these guys, hey, can check my throttle? And they're looking at me and looking at my bike, and they rev up my bike. Your throttle's fine. And I went to go get it, and this was the worst arm. This scar is gnarly, but this one's worse. I had almost a compound fracture and a dislocated wrist.
So that's why you couldn't twist your throttle, because your arm was so broken?
Yeah, and I rode
smokes
20-something miles to get to this pit to tell them to fix it, and so I guess I was getting all combative with them and stuff like that. So they told me, hey, you got to stop. You can't go. And they put light in my eyes and stuff. My pupils were uneven. So they basically said that I had a little bit of head trauma. So they tried.
That was a hardcore racer in you coming out though. Just got to finish.
Well, I going to hand the bike off to my buddy, Justin Morgan. And, I think it's just survival, man.
Dude, that's so gnarly, though.
It is. Where I crashed was absolutely the worst place I could have crashed. There's absolutely no one out there, no one to save you, no checkpoints, no access roads, and it was hot. It was probably 110 at the time. It was brutal.
Dude, that is so crazy, man.
So you get off the bike and you get into these cars and stuff, and you definitely feel safe, and just if you take your bike focus and you put it into these cars, man, you're going to be a hard dude to beat.
Yeah. So I've always told everybody on the show, and I've heard a couple of people say this in the last probably 2 weeks, but coming from motocross, you guys are going much faster than us in the desert, but coming from motocross and going into a side-by-side, I was even on a short course track, so it's real similar because you have hard abrupt changes and stuff. It's the exact opposite of desert racing, right? But I always told everybody, I feel like I could eat a sandwich while I'm out there racing because it felt like slow motion.
Totally.
So is that the same way it feels when you're behind the wheel of a car compared to the dirt bike out there?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And even in the trophy truck, I don't have a ton of hours in the seat of a trophy truck, but I've raced with my good buddy Corey Kezar, which he's part of my side-by-side program. There's a few of them, even in the trophy truck, it just feels like you're in slow motion, just kind of cruising along, side by side, the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of crazy though, right? Because it's like a whole different world, but it's the same place.
Yep.
Like you're on the same track and stuff.
Yep.
Hey, so I wanted to have Ryan from KMC Wheels come on the show. And
What's up, buddy?
welcome, Ryan. How are you?
How are you guys?
We're doing pretty good. I'm a little TO'd at you, though, because Max got the better socks than me. I got the EFX socks.
He got the Gucci socks.
Dude, so Gucci. Hey, so
That's
how's
safe for factory racers only.
Oh, burn! Hey, that is pretty cool though. That Max is starting to become a factory side-by-side racer. We got to give him props for that, right?
I'm into it.
So what's going on over there at KMC, and how are you working with Max?
Ever since his Sonora Rally, win, quote unquote, things have been blowing up. He did a really good job on those non-bead locks we just released, so we're pretty pumped on all that.
Yeah, he's definitely doing a good job in racing in general. He's representing KMC as a really good brand. Oh, Paul commented in and said he's your biggest fan, Ryan.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Paul.
Hey, so one thing I wanted to bring up today, and I wanted to wait for you to be on the show talking about it, is have you ever dealt with any road books in your racing career?
I have not, but that shit is gnarly.
Yeah. And so that's one thing that I wanted to bring up with Max and kind of get our brains wrapped around it, if we even can do that. So explain to me what a road book is for everybody that doesn't know on the show.
Well, a road book is basically like an electrical schematic telling you how to get from point A to point B.
Yeah, it's like I guess the only way for a normal person that's never seen one, it's like a map that you unfold compared to Google Maps, right?
Or like a paper GPS, I guess you would say.
Yeah, paper GPS. I mean, it doesn't have like a line on there that you follow or nothing. So there's a lexicon with a picture of an intersection and a kilometer marker and maybe a cap heading if you're lucky. So basically, you're looking at a picture of an intersection. It could be a 10-way intersection. It could be a two-way intersection with some trees here or there or whatever. And it will have a kilometer marker on there. So basically that tells you, okay, I need to turn left or right here, whatever it's telling you to do.
And so on the device or whatever it is, it's basically just like a little spinning device that knows how fast to go, so you can see the next portion of the book, or what is it?
No, you gotta roll it yourself.
Okay,
Yep.
so
While you're doing 8 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So when I think of the road books, I think, okay, like Dakar, when they're like your buddy Ricky and all these other fast guys on their bikes doing this while they're riding a dirt bike. First of all, like it's just insane. Like the car guys, they have a co-driver that can look at the road book,
right?
But Max is out there.
I mean, Max just had to do it in an RS1 and drive the whole time. That shit's so gnarly.
That's exactly where I was going with that. It's like, how do you even like? It's like multitasking times 3, though.
Yeah, I did it on my dirt bike too, and I think that helps a lot. It makes it easier in the car. And for me myself, I think navigating for myself, I've done both, right? I've done some navigating. I think navigating for myself is a lot easier than navigating for someone else.
Yeah, because then you don't have to translate what you're trying to say into their language.
Exactly. I'm looking at the map. I'm looking at everything I need to know, and I don't have to try to communicate that to the driver, That's actually a good point. So the processing in your brain, it feels like it probably goes faster. Yeah, and anyone that's ever been in the navigation seat can tell you, even when you're just navigating for a score race or a Best in the Desert race or whatever, like just that communication to tell him, hey, you need to turn left up here. There's a little delay there, and that could either blow the corner or you're telling way too early, and like the driver's like, okay, well, where do I turn? Where do I turn? How far? Like,
well, that's crazy. Because in Mexico, I got to pre-run with Erica Sachs, and like I've known her for a long time, and I knew she was good, but like we really had never gone out and actually either raced or pre-ran together. And having her in the car and her telling you exactly what's going on, like I didn't even have to say anything. Like it was just second nature to her. You know what I mean? Where it's just happening like instantly.
That is pretty cool. So we had a comment that came in and said, congrats on your new race program, Max.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it is pretty cool that your race program has taken off like this. And a lot of it is because of the stuff that you've dealt with your whole life to be able to lead into this, right? Like just knowing how to read a road book at your level has given you the opportunity to participate in some of these new rally racing events, right?
Yep.
Pretty rad.
Yeah, and hopefully there's a little bit more, but rally's super fun. It's just super expensive, and it's a long ways away from home. We have the Sonora Rally out here. We also have another one, the Baja Rally, which is in October down in Baja, Mexico. But other than that,
who was your pit crew in Sonora?
Yep.
This guy right here.
Just the guy sitting next to you?
Yeah, my son Connor and my dad, man, towing behind the old Sprinter moto van, just whipped it down there, and we had a good time.
Yeah,
That's wild, dude. It was so wild.
It was so bitching down there, man. I wouldn't have wanted to take no one else, to be honest with you. Like, just you don't get to share those memories with your dad and your son too often, Nah,
man, I know exactly the feeling.
if it's around a barbecue in your backyard or something like that, you're hanging out. But to take your dad and your son on an adventure like that, man, it's badass.
It's literally like speaking to the name The Dirt Life, because you guys are out there living your whole dirt life as a family, man. It's pretty cool. Ryan does it with his son now as well, and he still participates on two wheels and loves four wheels too.
Driving the chase truck at 3 years old, so we'll be at Sonora Rally next year. He'll be driving.
Yeah,
the chase crew just got increased by one.
Yep, let's do it.
That's pretty cool. Well, Max, have you ever had, or excuse me, Connor, have you ever had to do a road book like your dad, Max?
No, I haven't. I've been wanting to for a while now, though.
Have you checked it out? Like, you think you'd be good at it, or what?
I mean, it looks pretty difficult, but I don't know. I'm going to try it out here pretty soon.
George, he doesn't need a road book. Have you seen this kid on a 125?
Dude, he's just wooded, man.
He's bringing back two strokes single-handedly.
He really is, man. He's it's a testament to the whole lineage of dirt bike racing right here, man. It's pretty cool to see that his dad is still out there hanging out with them, especially when they get to do it together. So actually, that brings up a good point, because Ryan barely has any time to go have fun because he's always working or he's doing a race or something. How do you guys find time to have fun with each other? He's got to go to the races. You got to go to the races. Dad's got to figure out how to hang out.
It's been tough. It's been tougher the last couple months than it has ever, just because I'm kind of trying to focus on my side-by-side stuff and make that a go, because I don't want to drop the ball on my first year in the program and stuff like that. So there's a lot of work and a lot of thought process that goes into that. But then trying to keep him up where he needs to be with his training and his riding and coaching and everything else is tough. But we managed to do it, and I got some good buddies that's been taking him down to Glen Helen to work with a couple good coaches that he works with. Kyle Lewis is badass coach that's Connor works with. So it's my buddies, my family, and just everyone that kind of helps us out. We're making it happen.
And Connor, you enjoy going to the races and helping out the other way too? So
yeah, I love it. I love going and supporting my dad.
He rode with me at the last DP4 race.
Dude, how was that?
Oh yeah, they were in the stock Turbo S.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a rough ride.
Hey, did you race that race, Ryan?
Yeah, the night race, chatter that you couldn't even believe. The one I was telling you about when we were pre-running, George, where the chatter was fucking unreal.
Yeah.
How was it having Max? Was Max in the same class as you?
No, he raced the Pro Turbo. Yep. I just raced production turbo.
Oh, okay. So were you faster than Ryan, or who was faster at the track?
Oh, yeah.
It's tough to those night races are tough to see through the dust. That's for sure.
And they made it so tight.
Yeah.
I don't think we got over 80 more than once.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely not. It's brutal. And man,
fun.
I know. I wish they had it last Saturday, because we got a ton of rain up there in the desert.
Oh, man. That would have been perfect.
It would have been rad, but it's already dry.
Yeah, it already evaporated.
Yeah, it's gone.
Well, talking about racing, and you guys are talking about the DP4 stuff, I want to get into that stuff a little bit more in just a second here. But Ryan, so fun fact, I don't know if when Max was submitting his resume to get sponsored by KMC, if he put on there that he won the Baja 1000 in 2014, 2017, and 2019. That's a pretty heavy task to do, especially 3 times. I didn't
read the resume because I already knew that. Kind of a dirt bike guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty phenomenal, dude. So congratulations, first of all, for doing that. And for anybody that doesn't know, that takes a massive amount of preparation, not only physically but mentally, and a lot of practice, right? I mean, like, how do you even prepare to do an event like that? Because it's so gnarly on a dirt bike.
You know, my family suffered. I could tell you that much for sure.
You're riding 24/7.
Yeah, you know, I worked a 40, 50 hour a week job and literally got off, went to the gym or went and pedaled or rode, and would get home at dark and, like, you know, just spend this is 2015, 16, 17 was about the you know, kind of tailing off on the training, like super heavy like that and stuff. But
that's a full-time job in itself, dude.
it is. It was gnarly. And it's cool now dragging him along with it, you know, and I'm just trying to teach him, like, you know, he's got a lot of talent.
Right.
He's probably got more talent than I did. But teaching him the work ethic part, was because work ethic will trump talent any day of the week, in my opinion. Yeah. So teaching him the work ethic part is the hard part. And
how old are you now, Connor?
Just turned 16 last week.
Okay, perfect. So do you already have your full-on license yet?
No, I just got my permit.
Oh, nice. That's cool, though. So you're coming up, though, and you've already raced a side-by-side or no?
Just one DP4 race with my dad.
Oh, right on. So what's the rules then? When does he get to race and get behind the wheel? Does that mean you're going to sit in the passenger seat with him?
No. I'm done with the passenger seat. But, you know, I want him to get good on a dirt bike because it just makes the transition so much easier.
Like we just talked, right, with the slow motion thing?
100%.
Yeah. I can agree with that. I don't know if you heard us, Ryan, but we were talking earlier about how dirt bikes, when I got into a side-by-side, I felt like I was in slow motion, like I could eat a sandwich going down the straightaway, and Max kind of said the same thing.
Well, it even your line selection, I mean, you've seen it in the desert, George. Like, a dirt bike guy thinks completely different than a guy that's driven a UTV his whole life. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
100%.
For other stuff, and it's cool to see kids or guys like Max, you know, who were dirt bike guys now adapting to UTVs and what it's bringing to the sport.
Yeah, for sure.
When I started doing this, 2006 or whatever, like, dirt bike guys laughed at UTVs. So.
Yeah. Dude, that's OG, though. I didn't even know side-by-sides existed until 2009.
Yamaha Rhinos, man.
Yep.
You know,
but the dirt bike guys and even the trophy truck guys nowadays, like, pre-running in them, like, it's so cool for me to see that, like, where it came from.
Yep,
100%. Mr. MJ199 says, watching from the Philippines, dirt is life, ride all day. And that's literally
worldwide.
Worldwide, yeah, prestige. Max literally just said that, though. Like, that's what he was doing when he was younger. That's how he grew up, man. Like, that's phenomenal to be able to have that opportunity and to do it. So let's talk a little bit more about this rally stuff. So I think Ryan can attest to this rally being, I guess, a new form of racing in the new genre of side-by-side racing. Ryan just said, you know, it was 2006 when he knew about side-by-sides and the Rhinos and stuff. When you're talking about motorsports as a whole, that's a really new field of racing, right? Yeah. Like, it's 2021, so it's 15 years, but that's still a really new form of racing. Yep. And to have racing in Baja, like, all of these racing genres, short course, desert, everything was already there. And the side-by-sides kind of fell into it, but now they're taking over, right? They're like the biggest classes. Now they're the highest levels. But rally is not quite there yet, and it seems like if you're in a position like you are now, you can be on the forefront of that, right?
Yeah, you know, I don't know how much rally will take off out here in North America, but, like, if you go to the Dakar Rally or the Silkway Rally, it's getting ready to start here in a couple days, like, it makes the Baja 1000 look like a DP4 race. It makes it look like a small, like, local race.
I think most of us sitting here in the United States don't know that. We don't even get the magnitude of it.
Yeah, you know, you watch it on TV once a year and you just see highlights here and there. So it's hard to explain to people, like, what the rally stuff is over there, and definitely a different style of racing, and it's way different. So I don't know how big it'll get out here. There is starting to be a lot of Americans that are getting interested in rally racing, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe it just takes a couple more promoters, or just supporting the promoters that we have already, those two. You know, Darren Skilton at the Sonora Rally does an awesome job down there, and Scotty Bloom at the Baja Rally. They both put on awesome events. And they mimic a Dakar-style event for sure.
As much as they can.
Yep.
That's great.
It is crazy, and I think a lot of the notoriety has come from having ambassadors like your buddy Ricky Brabeck, and then one of KMC's athletes, Casey Curry.
Yep.
They gave a lot of recognition to the Dakar in the last couple years.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they definitely brought more attention, more awareness to the American people to what rally racing is, especially when there's Americans going over there winning it. You know,
Dude, 100%.
Yeah, it brings more media over here for us to see it.
How do you feel about it, Ryan? Because like when I was growing up on motocross, well, actually, let me ask Connor this question. So when you're at the motocross track and people talk about rally racing or desert racing and stuff like that, like what your dad does, how does the younger generation feel about it? Because when I was young, I didn't really like know or put that much effort into it. Are they kind of the same or no?
I mean,
they probably say rally who?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. But I'm thinking in my head, like a follow-up question is, how do we change that mindset?
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's more or less like, you know, motocross racing is just so intense for 30 minutes. Like we want to go fast as we can. Where rally's so strung out and so, you know, vast that people just think right away they can't accomplish it, you know? So to see these guys go and actually do it, and now like Casey and Ricky, Max, like all you guys going and doing it, it makes it a little bit more obtainable for us because now we know, you know, guys like me can go over there and do it.
Yeah.
Where before it's like, you know, Kirk Caselli went because he was a factory KTM guy. Like, I'm never going to be a factory KTM guy, so how the hell am I going to go do that? But it's cool because now we're starting to see guys actually work their way up and go do the Dakar or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, look at you know, a good buddy of mine, Skylar Howes. He just landed a full factory Husqvarna ride, and for the last
was full privateer last year, right?
For the last 2 years, he sold everything the dude's had
Just to get out there. No way, really?
Yeah.
I got to get that dude on the show.
And pulled off a top 10 the first year and a top 5, I believe, last year or something like that.
Full privateer effort.
Full privateer.
Yeah, now he's a full factory Husky guy.
Yep.
Dude, that's pretty badass, man.
But yeah, that kind of stuff it's all piecing together. And now it's like, I used to see Skylar Howe at the works races and all these people. And now, well, I could actually try and do that or whatever, you know what I mean? But before it was so out of this realm that I couldn't even imagine it.
Yeah. They're like, okay, well, how am I supposed to get my car from California to Saudi Arabia or Russia? Like,
so
that's out of the question, you know.
Well, I even remember interviewing Austin Jones, and when he was talking about like getting into it too, he's like, you wouldn't believe how many people would lend their resources to you to be able to get over there and do those things. Like he was so surprised that so many people were coming at him with open arms to help him go out there and do it. Like it's pretty sweet, man.
It is, and you know what? Like it's not unfeasible at all anymore. It's not, and you may not get there the route you want to go. Like, of course, I wanted to go there to drive. Well, I had to take another roundabout way to get there, you know, and sometimes that's what it takes.
Dude, I agree 100%. Yeah, and a quick story, like I never got into off-road racing. I got the opportunity to drive one of Casey Curry's Pro Lights. I've said the story before on the show, but I asked him, I was like, okay, cool. He's like, well, it costs $10,000 a day, but I'm letting you drive it. And I was like, $10,000 a day? Like the truck is like, well, let's just say it's $60,000 at a time. And he's like, yeah, like we'll cut you a deal on it. You can race it. And I'm like, if it's $10,000 a day, there's no way in hell I can race this
that's
thing.
My budget for the year.
Exactly.
Exactly. And then I was thinking like, okay, I got to make a name for myself and try to race a side by side because that's way easier. But I had to do it roundabout too. So I did long endurance bicycle racing, and then I did Ironman, and I started getting sponsors and notoriety, and then I was able to do it. Very similar to what your story is.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So you do whatever you got to do to get to your dreams, right?
It is.
Take those rides, sit in the passenger seat, go pre-running, like any of that stuff. You know, find the links together.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's not all the best sometimes, but you know what? Any opportunity you pass up is an opportunity you're never going to get again.
Yeah, like don't shut the door.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That one opportunity, they'll say, hey, you want to just go pre-run with me? Well, you may meet someone like Ryan, and you may just end up having a beer in the bar with him and clicking it off, and Ryan comes along.
Co-pilot.
Yeah, and you come, he helps your program down the road a couple years later, or you never know. It's just to go and meet someone and just talk and meet someone new. you never know who
That's
it
a good
is.
thing to bring up, though, too, is because I actually had a bunch of people, and we're going to probably do a full show on this, actually, in this subject, actually, is how to get into racing. And most people will always say, lend a hand. Go down there, help their pre-running. Like, you guys did it with your family, right?
Yep.
But if you had another kid that was Connor's friend said, hey, could I go help you guys? You would say, sure, man, come
100%.
along. It would be
100%.
super cool.
We just got it. Our good buddies, you know, he's one of my best friends, and it's his best friend. It's kind of the same way we've kind of drug them along here and there, and they just bought their first race car. They bought a Class 9 car, and they're getting ready to race it at Glen Helen on the end of July. So it's kind of that same story. You know, he coming along, he wants to help, and they got him interested in it. Like, let's go for it.
Just like Ryan said, that is so rad, making your dirt life and spreading the love so they get their dirt life. Dude, that's so cool. All right, so we were just talking about like sharing and helping and things like that. One of the things that I know about Max is that he actually helped Robbie Gordon quite a bit in, what was it, 2019, I think?
Yeah, 2019.
Yeah, so what did you do? Maybe give us a little bit of backstory to that. Like, how did you get the opportunity to do that?
You know, basically, my good buddy Kellen Walsh, he's been Robbie's navigator for years, and I got the opportunity to navigate for him at the Silkway in 2018, I believe it was. And then Robbie was putting together his program to go to Dakar with 3 cars. And they had called and asked me if I wanted to navigate for Cole Potts. And I said, yeah.
Nice.
I won't ever turn down an opportunity, you know? So I took it, and I was like, yeah, when we leave.
And it goes back to just what you said, too, is like you got to keep all those doors open to keep furthering your dream.
You really do. You really do.
And what was that like, though? And the reason I'm asking about it now is because you've come to have your dream come to fruition, right? And so having all those pieces of the puzzle come together, where did that puzzle piece fit? Was that navigating? Was it learning how the Dakar operates? Like, what's the knowledge that you gain from something like that?
Oh, man, it's just, I mean, to learn and get to hang out and learn for someone like Robbie is incredible to begin with. You know, that guy's like an icon of our sport.
Mix like that, that's freaking one way to learn.
Yeah, because you're basically getting thrown in the fire on a high-level team, right?
Yeah, so, and basically I went back to, I lived with Robbie for 2 weeks before Christmas through Thanksgiving and stuff in Charlotte, and basically built the cars from the chassis up just to get familiar with them and everything else. And then come home for Christmas, and then leave to go to Peru. But
Ryan, he makes it sound like it's easy. Like that, none of that is easy.
Hey, remember when I said
adding that up in my head?
Remember when I said my family suffered a lot?
Yeah.
So it's just, I mean, I would never pass up an opportunity to go and learn from someone like Robbie. Is crazy. And like you may not be able to take back everything that he does or he taught you or whatever.
10% of it is like,
but if you could take one thing from the trip was a success for me, you know, and I can apply that to my program or my son's program or help someone else along the way for sure.
That's so crazy. And well, now that Ryan actually took me down to Baja 500 for the first time to be part of the logistics portion of it, chasing and stuff like that, I always wondered, like, what's the biggest differences between a race like the Baja and a rally race like Dakar?
Well, I've done both. I've sold the Baja 1000, and I've ran the whole entire Dakar rally as well. And Baja, man, it's hard to compare the two because you got to wake up for 12 consecutive days.
It's insane.
with the positive mindset and just pushing forward, keep pushing forward, and
just that one morning of the 500, I'm freaking a mess. I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, you know, you got to wake up one time and you got to go fast one time at the Baja 1000, right? Right. You go to Dakar, you got to wake up 12 times and you got to go fast 12 days in a row.
Dude, that's so crazy to think about that from a motocross standpoint. You get to do 2 motos on a track or a short course race. You get to do 1 main event and 1 qualifying. Like your whole day consists of an hour, right? And to think about the whole other end of the spectrum, like a Dakar, 12 days, all day, every day, even all day and into the night sometimes.
Energy.
Yep. So that wingman 2971. I think he's over selling a boat back from like Turks and Caicos right now. They're probably out in the middle of the ocean or somewhere in the Bahamas. But
dang, he's getting good service.
He was my my motorhome partner for this year at Dakar. So
nice.
Super cool dude. Super good navigator too.
Right on. We had a couple other comments come in. Lucretia said that's why my family is so close because we race together. So it's the same thing, right? And Ryan is teaching his son the same thing. Ryan's son Gunnar is a little bit younger than Connor, though. So
just a little bit.
But I saw the other.
I think he's 16 by now. But.
I saw the other day that he got on, what was it, one of those Strider bikes or something?
Dude, I took him to the skate park yesterday, and he was airing out some jump, and he didn't even realize it. And then I told him, and then he backed it down.
Oh, that's funny. You got to make it known that he's airing it out.
Yeah, I just got to stop saying anything, and he'll keep going.
John Lewis is also talking about the old school desert racing with the roll charts. Like, actually, so in Baja, did they used to use roll charts too?
No,
I think that was straight paper maps back in the day.
Yeah,
like compasses and paper maps.
Yeah, back like the Malcolm Smith days and Parnelli Jones days. Yeah.
And they're just writing notes on a bar pad and getting themselves through it.
Yeah, like, hey, all right, we got to get from here to here, and then we'll pull out our map again and find a route to get from here to there.
Let me pull it out of the fanny pack real quick.
With a flashlight typed to my front fender. I mean,
I was telling George in 2009, I raced the 500, my first time ever racing, and we didn't have a single GPS in any of our trucks. All we had were paper maps, and I felt like every time we pre-ran, we would stop and pull out the paper map out of our tool bag. Like, all right, I think we're on the right trail. Oh, there's a marker, and then keep going.
Yeah, because the markers aren't super consistent in score.
No,
like you'll go out. You're going to go out the start, and you're like, if you don't have a GPS, like you don't hardly ever see course markers. You're like, where the hell am I going?
Dude, that makes me...
A couple times, George kept asking, like, how do you know where we're going? Like, the GPS, like, we're kind of off trail. I'm like, oh, no, I see a marker up there. He's like, how the hell do you see a marker? I'm like, I see it. It's somewhere up there.
He had, like, eagle vision for these markers. And, like, I was thinking like, on the other end of the spectrum, too. Like, I feel so bougie saying this, but, like, compared to you guys, because at the UTV World Championship in 2019... there's good course markers, right? And it's a short track. Like, it's only 30 miles long or whatever it is. I missed one marker, and I got lost for 10 minutes. I was out in the middle of nowhere, and then I try to get back on the track, and there's like 15 other dudes around me that we're all the same bougie kind of guy. Like, we have no idea where we're going, right?
Yeah.
We're all just circling the desert, and it's like getting super dangerous. And then finally I find it, and everybody else goes. Like, how the hell do you guys go through not doing that?
I don't know. Don't feel bad because I got lost at the Sonora Rally this year. I think on day 2 or day 3, and I was lost for 20 minutes.
Oh, really?
And
it's kind of a panic mode too. You're
dude,
like,
I was so panicked,
but I'm not going to admit it.
Yeah. Yep. So there's our buddy Drew Mansfield that just bought his first 9 car.
Oh, he says I heard Connor might be going down to Baja in September.
Yeah. So Connor got asked to ride on a team down there in Baja.
Yeah, way to go, dude.
Yeah, thank you.
What are you thinking?
I'm pretty stoked on it. I've been wanting to do it since forever.
Dude, now you got the fire inside you to go desert racing or what?
Yeah, basically.
It's all those SRA GPs, all those wins you've been doing are adding up to a 500 now.
Yeah.
Dude, for real.
So we've been going back and forth on the parental side of that one. I have some hard feelings to let him go down there, only being 16 years old. But does that mean you're gonna go down there too, or is he on his own this time? No, I would 100% go with him. Yeah, I'd ride with him, pre-run with him, show him. Everything.
Yeah, you're just talking about being on course.
Teach him. Yeah, teach him everything pre-running and let him.
When did you get the opportunity to start desert racing? Then how young were you?
Oh,
older than him.
Well, desert racing in the States, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was 9, 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you think about that, some of those like District 37 races, you're out there.
Yeah, for sure.
You're fucking out there.
Yeah.
You find more shit in Mexico than some of those District 37 races.
You're probably right. You're probably right. There's definitely a lot more helicopters flying around down in Mexico. And everyone thinks, Mexico is 100% dangerous. Don't get me wrong. But, yeah, you'll probably go less miles before you see someone in Baja than you do at a Hare and Hound or a District 37 race, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
That's so cool, though. Well, congratulations on the opportunity, dude.
Yeah,
it sounds like it'd be pretty cool. Maybe, Ryan, do you think we should get him on the show after he races down in Baja? Get Connor over here?
Hell yeah! After the win, where he's coming back.
Dude, yeah. Bring that W home to the Dirt Life show, dude.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, so we're
telling James we need a plus 30 class 450 race.
That would be pretty.
Motorsport sponsored.
That would be pretty cool. But how many of the guys that have to go to work on Monday are going to make it?
We would. It's all good,
dude.
Hey, I'm in.
All I'm saying is everybody's going to be. I'm not talking about getting hurt. I'm saying everybody's going to be so tired, dude. Going to come to work, barely be limping in.
I got a fresh L right here. We can just.
Ooh, look at that bad boy.
She's ready to rip.
Dude, we could ride it down there, race it, and then ride it home.
And get churros at the border.
It's like the Raptor when they released the Raptor. They drove it home after with like all the holes in it and shit.
Yeah. Hey, how bad would that be? How rad would that be if they like added an adventure class down to Baja and we all bought some adventure bikes, rode them down there, raced the Baja 500, and then just cruised them home?
Well, dude, that's why we raced the Mint, because they did a dual sport class and everybody showed up with their horns, blinkers, license plates, and just had a good time.
That's rad.
That's hilarious. Those adventure bikes would be so gnarly, though.
Yeah.
Like, I had a 450L, too, and my dad rode his adventure bike, like, with it, and he had so much trouble getting through some of the stuff, man. But I think, like, a 390 might be, like, the key, though, because it's a little lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But can you imagine going through some of that gnarly stuff with an adventure bike?
I want to do it.
Quinn Cody's the one that's been racing it. The hard enduro's on one.
Yeah. Dude, they're pretty
really?
capable. They're pretty capable.
Oh, yeah.
The new KTM.
How much is he changing that thing, modding that thing, though?
I would imagine it's stripped down a little bit,
but still big bike.
Oh, yeah. You still got a big old twin cylinder underneath you for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I'm sticking to like I don't know, a 450L or maybe a 450.
Jordan's on the 350.
Yeah. But then you could just put your feet up and just 110 on that adventure bike all the way up the freeway home. Like, freaking.
I'll pull there with your drink, ready to rip.
Hey, so Ryan, I don't know if you're kind of getting this vibe, but this dude over here is like so confident in his dirt bike riding skills that all he's thinking about is the ride home, how cushy it's going to be on his adventure bike.
I'm imagining him crossing the border, like full gear still, all dusted.
Just cross the finish line and just woods at home.
Yep.
Dude, that would be so rad. Your finisher metal all flapping in the wind. Just
The guy at the border asks you what you've been doing. Oh, I just got done racing. I'm going home now.
Yeah, you're a maniac, bro. Well, I do think it's pretty cool that Connor's getting the opportunity to do it. We had a couple comments come in. John Lewis said, growing up chasing ribbons in the desert, and it's easier. Well, for you guys, both you and Ryan, you guys did grow up chasing them.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it is a little bit different. Like the stuff that he saw in the desert blew my mind because I don't have that same vision. Like I can't. Well, my vision's messed up now. But even before, like you have to be kind of like a trained eye to be able to see that, right?
Well, yeah. And I told you, George, once we started seeing those ribbons, like race mode takes over.
Yeah,
no
doubt.
You start seeing those orange ribbons, and you're just on one.
Yep.
That's a good point. And he knew all the colors, like everything. Like his was already, and that's kind of like, I guess, the way that you do the road books too, right? Like you know them so good that you can kind of pinpoint and do those things, and it processes in your head really fast.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
What about you, Connor? You think you could be able to do it the kind of that same way, or are you going to have a good teacher? Excuse me, a good teacher teaching you?
I mean, I did the desert growing up before Moto and everything, so I kind of got used to following the arrows and all that stuff, and kind of figured it out a little bit, you know.
Oh,
Not
okay.
so much road books, but I'm gonna learn how to do road books here pretty soon, and then, but yeah, I learned how to follow those.
How does it work on the dirt bike then in Mexico? Do you have a GPS or no?
We ran one just for the speed.
A little tiny one. Like you're not seeing much of it.
Yeah, we never like uploaded the course into it. We just use it just for a speedometer.
Oh, okay. And then you just use the course markers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. And pre-running.
Yeah, pre-running.
Yeah, I guess because then you could mark every mental thing in your head, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that would be pretty tough, though, I think. Well, that's so cool that you get the opportunity to do that, Connor. I'm stoked for you, bud.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, so, Ryan, the only other thing that I was going to talk with you guys about before we get a little bit more into Max's story and what he's got going on is how you guys both like those DP4 races, because I know a lot of our audience is pretty big fans of them.
Man, I'm sold on them, but it's going back to, knowing the course markers and being used to it. Like, I feel like I'm racing a dirt bike race when I'm out there. So I think that's why I'm so stoked on him. And, my little brother is my navigator, and he's raced dirt bike races and a couple desert races, but never navigated in a UTV. And literally first lap, he was like calling corners and like, he knew what was going on. It was cool to me because I'm like, dude, like, you've never been in the right seat, but like, he understands motocross, understands desert racing. So for him to pick up on it that quick was like the true testament of what DP4 is.
That is pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you feel like pretty strongly about DP4 too?
Yeah, they're awesome. I really wish they would let me race that RS1 out there, but
why can't you?
They just made a class for it, but they made it an amateur class.
Oh.
So, and if you've raced the pro turbo class before, you're not eligible to race that
And you're
class.
not allowed to race an RS1 in the pro turbo or the pro class?
Well, that's what I was trying to get them to let me do, and they still wouldn't let me do that.
Oh, okay. Well, they don't want you to make all the pro turbo guys look bad, dude.
Well, and I think, it's a grassroots racing.
Right.
It is.
I mean, they're still learning too. They're only year, 2 or 3?
Yeah, and they're still doing, they're getting a lot of grassroots guys and stuff. They're doing an awesome job, but they're growing like crazy.
Yeah.
So they're not going to start bending the rules and making all these extra.
That's probably actually a good
classes.
thing, though.
Yeah, it is, and I totally understand that.
Yeah, and it looks like Patty Blaze is saying the same thing. DP4 Racing is they're doing a great job. Old school desert racing.
Yep.
I don't know how old.
Chris is out there waxing it.
Yeah, exactly. Out there beating Max, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we really appreciate you coming on with us, Ryan. It was super cool of you to take the time.
Right on, Ryan. Thank you for all your help and support.
Hey, thank you, Max. Thanks for winning.
We'll talk to you soon.
Keep those W's coming, Max. Later, Ryan. It's cool to see that he's that amped about being able to support somebody like you, obviously support the Dirt Life show. It really does take a whole team to be able to get you out there in any type of racing, right? Whether you're in the Class 9 car, a dirt bike, or even a side-by-side.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I mean, every little bit helps. This stuff's expensive as it is. And having someone like Ryan a part of our program and stuff it's huge for us.
It really is. So there's a couple other things that I want to talk about before we kind of sign off on the show. One of the things that I want to talk about is what it takes to be able to finish a race on a dirt bike, like an endurance desert race, because that's just a phenomenal thing in itself. So you have to have, I'm going to say 3 key components. You have to have a good crew, a good team, whether it's your family, your friends, or professionals.
Yep.
You have to have a good physically fit body.
Yep.
And then the third is you have to have a good bike or a vehicle.
Yeah. 100%.
And so without taking us through everything, you already said that you have your family and everybody help. So if other racers want to do it, they can do it very similar to that. I suggest bringing a ton of hydration, making sure that your body is in shape before you get out there and go do something like that. And then talking more about the mechanical stuff, Josh from Cryo Heat told me to ask you a couple questions about one of the dirt bikes that you rode. I think it was a Honda. He ended up doing the motor on that with some of the heat-treated materials that he's done. And he also said to ask you about some of the other parts.
Yep. Yeah, and actually, I think Josh has cryo heated almost every single piece of dirt bike that I've raced down in Mexico.
Really?
Yeah, so we obviously started out with the motor stuff, the internal motor stuff, and it worked out so well. We started experimenting with other stuff and with the chain sprockets, like any wear item. And
he said suspension components too, right?
Yep, I'm getting there. So we start all that stuff, and it was awesome. So we started experimenting with the suspension stuff, and you ever see the
tie nitrate stuff?
How it's all colored and stuff like that, and basically the cryo heat process does the same thing. And I know when we got our stuff back from him and Bob Bell put it all together and we went and tested it and we're like, hey, this is way too soft. Like, what'd you do with the settings? Bob's like, they're identical. And we're like, no, this thing's just blown through. It's no good. It's blowing through the travel. It's way, way, way too soft. So Bob went back and opened it back up and said, yeah, it is. So we ended up stiffening it up 40% more.
Because there was so much less friction?
Because of less friction from the
That's
crowd.
insane.
Yeah. Dude, that thing works so good. Like in the cobblestone roads and stuff, you can literally just sit on this back of the seat and just pen it through the softball-sized rocks and just poof, poof, poof.
because it moves so much freer, right?
Yeah, it worked good.
Dude, Connor, how would that feel to have a freaking dirt bike so smooth like that?
It'd be great.
I know, right? That's
So-
crazy to hear.
Yeah.
And for any racer, that's phenomenal. All right, well, I don't want to pretend like we're like on a sales click for Josh, but I've never heard those stories before. That's why Josh told me to ask him, because that's a real world testament to it, man. Makes you think way different.
Yeah, it sucks. We got to give up our secrets, but it stuff works good, and Josh has helped us out a bunch, and it really does help.
Makes me want to do that to the
car.
side-by-side suspension.
The RS1 stuff's getting done.
Nice. That'll be pretty cool.
The 2-seat Pro XP that I'll be racing at Best in the Desert's getting done.
Nice, dude. That'll be pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely be running Josh's the crowd heat suspension, transmissions, diffs. And
That Pro Mod transmission looks super cool too.
Yep.
Well, I forgot what it was. It was like 30% lighter or something like that.
Yeah, it's like 13 pounds less rotating mass.
That's insane, dude.
Yeah.
It's so cool to see. Could you imagine if you could do that in a dirt bike and just have less rotating mass?
Yeah.
Somebody was telling me that all the Kawasaki factory teams, they all run KTM OEM gears in their transmissions because they're so much lighter and they want to change the gear ratios.
Wow.
Yeah. So, because you can't run a factory built or a non-OEM part number.
Yeah.
Like you can't build your own gears.
Yeah.
So you have to buy it off the shelf. So they run the KTM gears because they match better to what they want to do.
Huh.
It's pretty crazy, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
all those little tricks, man. All right, so maybe let's get into a little bit more about some of the recent stuff that you've done. So you've been wanting to get into a side-by-side for numerous years, I guess, and I guess it's starting to come to fruition, huh?
Yeah. Dirt bikes, I've kind of sailed that ship, and I love riding my dirt
Pass
bike
the torch, we'll say.
Yeah. Yeah, we're handing it down to Connor. But I've had fun on dirt bikes on two wheels, man. We raced a lot of different stuff and raced speedway for a while and stuff. And I just want to keep going, I just want to keep racing whatever it is and just go to bigger races and just get better and better. And,
it's so cool that side-by-sides offer us the opportunity to have such a competitive spirit and still like keep that professional race mentality past our dirt bike years.
Yeah. Well, and it's crazy. You look at like trophy truck racing, class 10 car racing, 1600 or whatever. That's all like, it's fun. It's badass. You're racing race cars, so it's fun, but there's no manufacturer behind it. You know? So there's nothing really for help along the way to keep racing every year and making the races because it's expensive as enough, but with having the manufacturers and stuff behind you, it definitely helps a ton.
It makes a huge difference. And it makes a huge difference in the longevity of the sport. It makes a huge difference in how outside people see the sport. Because that's why I wanted to have a show that was based on showing people how to race, because there's so many enthusiasts out there that see a person like you out there racing professionally in either a bone stock Turbo S or a semi-stock RS1. In fact, and they want to go out and do it too. Like, and I wouldn't blame them for it. Like, that's cool that they want to do it. In fact, the RS1 that you raced was actually one that Craig Scanlon let us both use out of his garage. And we did a 7-part series on building that car as an entry-level RS1 to race.
Wow.
So it was cool. In fact, not to toot our own horn, but the YouTube almost reached 1 million people. It was awesome to have them see it. Yeah, and I think that's why there's so many people that are interested in getting into it, right? Because it is obtainable. And to see that you took that semi-stock vehicle, it had shocks that you could upgrade. I think they're called RC2s from Fox. But everything else was pretty much just bolt-on. And it was a pretty, I don't know what you want to call stock car, and you went out and almost won the Sonora Rally in it. Like that's pretty phenomenal, dude, to even think about. So
we're gonna take that same car to the UTV Worlds this year too, I believe.
Are you? So you got to make it look better than I did, because I think I only ended up like 8th overall or something.
Yeah, we're gonna take it there, and we signed up for the regular Pro NA class in it and stuff.
That's what I did too. Yeah, so it was cool to be able to race against those guys.
Yeah. So what would you changed on it? Anything?
I would have slowed the rebound down on the shocks. That's it. And I don't know how to do clutching. You probably know a lot more about clutching than I do, but I don't know. It seemed like the clutch was a little bit loose in there. I don't know how to
we re-clutched it.
Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, so that's about all I would have done, man. I mean, it seemed like it was fine for me. The whole time I was out there, I just had a smile on my face because it was so fun to drive.
It is fun.
Yeah, so we were just cruising, and unfortunately, I got a flat, so I had to drive the last lap on a flat tire. So that cost me probably it cost me 10 minutes getting lost, and then probably another 5 or 8 minutes because I had to drive on a flat tire.
Was it a long race, like tiring?
No, it was too short. So, like, that's the reason I got 8th. I probably would have got top 3 if I hadn't had those things happen. Yeah. But, every racer would have won until they didn't, kind of thing. So, it was just a fun race, man. I crossed the finish line, and I was almost in tears because it was emotional for me with the past stuff that I had gone through. But that car was phenomenal. It was super cool to be able to go out there and race it. So I'm stoked that you're going to do that.
Yep.
When is that, actually? October this year?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you're going to go down to Baja, Connor, when?
September, I believe.
Okay, so September he's got
Baja 400.
Okay, so Baja 400, he's got that opportunity, and then the next month you're going to be at the UTV World Championship.
Yep, and I'll be down in Baja too, either working with him or we'll be pitting for Craig Scanlon again.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Yeah, so Craig Scanlon's a good dude, man. I can't believe that he let us use that RS1. And that RS1 is the little RS1 that could, right?
Yeah, that's for sure.
It's had so much fun out on the course. If that RS1 could tell stories.
Yeah.
But it's neat to see that the side-by-side community is helping out now, right? Like, who'd have thought that an RS1 out of somebody's garage that you get the keys to would turn into a Factory Polaris contract?
Yeah, no doubt. It's these cars, you don't got to do much to them. When I get the new car for Best in the Desert, we're really going to revalve the suspension and put some 32-inch tires on it and go race it. Put a cage on there, a fuel cell, of course, some safety stuff, but we're not doing much to it.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
It's neat to be able to see that side-by-sides are so capable. And I guess that's a testament to what you were talking about before is, people can race whatever car that they want, a 9-car, 10-car, whatever it is. But these side-by-sides are giving people the ability to have so much more than just a dirt bike or any of those cars. They give you the ability to take parts down there. You can even share parts with other racers and fix it and go down there and have a bunch of fun.
And that's what's cool about the side-by-side. So, like, even though you do brake or whatever, the kind of in the aspect of the dirt bike scene, finishing rate is fairly good on them too. The trophy trucks, the tins, and all that. Not so much trophy trucks anymore, but tins and all that stuff. It's like a 50-50, right? You're either going to go down, you're going to brake, or you're going to finish, whatever. The side-by-sides, you could just throw parts at them. If something breaks, you buy them over the shelf, you carry them in your chase truck, you throw a new part on, and you go.
Exactly.
So you're going to get it finished.
Yeah, so the testament to the reliability, like on a dirt bike, is like phenomenal, right? And then like all the other cars is somewhat not the same, but you can have half and half with the side-by-side, I guess, at least, right?
Yep.
Stephanie Gray says Maximus. Is that your full name?
No.
Yeah? No, I was going to say, everybody just likes calling you that?
Yeah, Steph and Patty Party. They call me that.
Hey, so I had a text message just come in. John Lewis from Desert Squadron. He lives up, I think, in Lancaster now or somewhere. But he has been helping get me. I'm a big safety guy now. So he gave me a Camelback that has a bunch of different pockets. It's got a full medical kit in it. Mm-hmm. And so, because I just got an e-bike, so I've been mountain biking and stuff. And he gave me 2. And he said it might be kind of a cool thing to offer up the other one that I have to Connor for the Baja 500s. I don't know if that's something that you guys do, but it's basically a full-on medical kit with obviously you can store water. I think it's got 2 or 2.5 liters of water in it.
Wow.
So I don't know if you'd be interested in that, but I'm more than happy to give it to you, bud.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
So thanks, John Lewis from Desert Squadron, for offering that up, man. That just happened. That's crazy. But I'm a big safety guy, so I don't know. Actually, you know what? Tell me what you guys do when you go down there. How do you stay hydrated? And, like, what do you guys wear on your body?
Just a Camelback with some water, really.
Do you guys take safety stuff?
No.
Really?
Sadly, no. Fortunately, the last couple of years, we've had a helicopter above us on our program. But prior to that, it really didn't even cross our mind. I mean,
well, maybe it'll give you a little bit more peace of mind knowing that he's got that on his back then.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Well, thanks, John. I really appreciate that, man. I didn't even think about that in that context, but that'll be cool. And yeah, so I'll get it to you guys at some point. Maybe I'll just mail it up to your house or something, or cruise up there. All right, so what's in the future? So, well, actually, you know what? Before we talk about that, give us a little bit of a rundown of getting set up to take this RS1 out of Craig's garage and go do the Sonora Rally. Were you just talking with him one day and he just said, "Hey, you know what? Go for it."
Yeah, pretty much. He just said, "Hey, come get this RS1 and ain't gonna get no use and go race at the Sonora Rally." And I was like, "All right."
Did he say, like, "Call this dude George that I know because he's gonna be pissed that you take the stickers off"?
So, he goes, "I just want to see if you can do it."
Nice.
He goes, "I don't know if you can." He's all, "Can you drive and navigate at the same time?" I said, "Yeah, did it on my dirt bike." You know, what's big
I
deal?
would think, honestly, I would probably have the same question as Craig, though.
So he goes, you know, and another question I got down there on the starting line stuff, I pull up to the starting line and I have the RS1 and that's it. There's no spare tire on it. There's no nothing, you know, I'm racing a rally for 5 days in a row.
Yep.
And Ricky and a bunch of people asked me like, "Dude, where's your spare tire? Are you dumb or what?" And I'm like, "No, why? Like, you're not going to run a spare?" I'm like, "I never ran a spare tire on my dirt bike. Why the heck would I need one in a side-by-side, you know?"
Yeah.
It's just kind of funny. I was laughing at those guys.
That is pretty funny.
But, yeah, Craig's like, "I just want to see if you can do it. Go for it." And I said,
"That's the exact same thing I got at the UTV World." They're like, "You don't have any?" I'm like, "No, I'm just going."
Yeah.
Well, it cost me, but I would have cost me more had I got a flat and changed it.
Yep.
So,
and I'm gonna run the same EFX tires and same KMC wheels that I ran at the Sonora Rally there, the non-beadlocks. I don't think there's a necessary need for beadlocks on that car. Right?
Yeah. And it's hard. Like the beadlocks were really important, and not so much with the Hoosiers and short course because the Hoosiers slide across the top of the. But when we raced short course, we got so much traction that the cars would come off the rims if you didn't wear them beadlocks. But in desert racing, you're not doing that same thing. Yeah. So the only time a beadlock would actually be necessary is when you get a flat.
Yep.
To keep it on the wheel. So yeah, that's actually a really good because then the rotating mass is quite a bit less too.
Yeah. It's like 3.5 pounds or something.
Yeah. So that's actually not a bad idea.
So we're giving away more of our secrets, but that's all right.
It's okay. I think most of these guys are going to tell us that we're idiots anyways because they all have their own racing programs. But so he gives you the opportunity and you're just like, "Yeah, man, this is something that I want to do."
Yep. Basically, I was like, I'm going for it. You know what? If it's my one race that I do all year, I'm fine with that. I'm just going to go down and make the best of it and show them that I'm capable of having this position in the car where I should be a driver and not a navigator. And I should, you know, I would be awesome to have some factory support or some help or whatever. And
this is an opportunity where I can showcase that.
Yeah. And leading up to it, you know, I did get some parts help and they gave me, you know, transmission diffs and belts and air filters, basically everything I needed to go down there and run the rally. Polaris did. Brett's an awesome dude over there. So I just said, all right, I'm going down there. You know, I want to go down there and I want to prove everyone that this RS1 is not just a short course car. It's a desert car and it can win in any aspect of desert racing, rally, Baja, whatever. And
multidiscipline capable.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I agree. During that whole time, like, again, you're kind of just getting this car ready, going down there. Are you thinking to yourself, "Wow, man, this is a good opportunity from somebody like Craig to give me this opportunity is fantastic. Like, I have a goal to be able to, you know, potentially get a factory side-by-side racing career going. Now's my chance."
You know, like, yeah, that's always the dream, you know. You never think that it's going to come to reality, you know, but
I guess you kind of got to really put your life in perspective, right?
Yeah. So, you know, obviously that's a goal. That's a dream for sure. So you just keep chipping away. You keep working at it and you do the best. You show up to the big events and you know, put on a show and you do the best you can. And whatever happens, you know?
And that's why I was asking so many preliminary questions, is because I'm leading up to this because I think that our audience really, a lot of them want to go side-by-side racing and have those types of opportunities. And you had been putting in the work for many years. You've been riding a dirt bike. You've been helping other teams, whether it be sitting in a co-driver's seat, in the driver's seat, or whatever it is. I'm sure you were mopping floors at some point. Whatever you had to do to make that dream come to fruition. And now it seems like even in 2021, it's coming to fruition. Like, that's so many years and so much work later.
Yeah, no doubt it is. You know, and on the bikes, you work so hard, you know, with the dream of, like, I want to ride for a factory team, and it never really happens in the off-road stuff, you know? And then fast forward 10 years and stuff, and it's happening in the side-by-side stuff. So it's just, you just never give up on your dream, you know, whether it may not be the exact dream of riding for a factory team on a dirt bike, but driving for a Factory Polaris, you know, 4-wheel parts, it is, you know, it could be just a little bit different, and it's super cool the way that works out. And it just shows, like, I never give up.
Yeah,
I never ever will throw in the towel no matter what. And I'm sure Craig will have a story to tell you next time you talk to him about that, but which he probably wasn't too happy with me, but we got him through it. And,
right on.
And you know, that's just the way I am, and I put 120% effort into everything I do with it.
That's my mentality as well. Never give up. But it's cool to see all this stuff come to fruition for you. Like, off-road racing in general is not like a motocross industry. It's not like F1. You don't get a factory ride in the same aesthetic. You don't show up to the races and ride your race bike, right?
Yeah.
You still have to put in massive amounts of hours to be able to get your car to the racetrack. You still, no matter what, you have to put in extra money. You have to put in money of yours. You have to put in money of your family's. And you have to have a really, really good program to be able to operate it, even if you are a factory driver. Even Brandon Sims, for instance, the guy who just won the Baja 500, he still has to be able to allocate stuff
100%
to be able to accomplish his program. So anybody that gets to this level doesn't just have a free ride.
No, there's nothing worth life having if it's free, right?
Yep.
So there's really truly nothing free in life. So and when you say, everyone says, you know, Factory Polaris ride or whatever, you're still building a race car. Like, they're going to give you a car, but it's a bone stock Polaris RZR, and you got to build it into a race machine, right? And then whatever the details of your deal is, and then, you know, you get, I'm going racing, but then I still got to turn around. I got to buy a chase truck. I got to buy tools. I got to buy all this other stuff. So there's even nothing free about it. Like, I'm probably actually spending more money now than I would have if I wasn't going racing with
100%. I always tell everybody we had a lot of resources in our Yamaha program, but I still spent $150,000 a year.
Yeah.
And that's just going short course racing. That's not even desert racing.
Yeah.
And just to allocate food for the crew. Well, since you and your dad and your son, it's a little bit cheaper, right? But it's like for a 10-man crew or something, and chase trucks and stuff like that. I mean, you got a couple grand, $3,000 a weekend for that.
Yeah.
So
no doubt.
It's a lot, man. And it's kudos to you for putting in all the effort to do it. And kudos to your wife, your son. I think you have another son or a daughter too, don't you?
Yep, Axel.
Yeah.
So, boy.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. What about your little brother? You think he's going to be a fast guy like you guys, or what?
I don't know. He's more in the farm animals than anything else.
Really?
I think he's going to be a farmer.
Nice, dude.
Yeah,
he's going to be making the real money, and you guys are going to be spending all the money.
We'll be spending his money eventually. Yeah, he's going to be a farmer. He plays with which totally cool, man. He's
Pitster Pro says, "What's up, man?" And then I don't know, Mark Bucco, something like that says, as long as you know how to ride on the dirt. Yep. Well, that's where we have all of our fun, man. All right, so you go to the Sonora Rally, and are you nervous?
No, you know,
because this is a little bit of a new venture. I mean, not like. It's something that you want to do. It's something that you want to further your career, and you have an opportunity. You got to be a little bit.
You know, to be honest with you, I wasn't. Not 100%, just totally relaxed, just smooth. Being nervous is being on the starting line of the Baja 1000, your first bike off the line with the 1X plate and a helicopter flying right above you.
Different mentality, I guess,
That's being nervous.
Got it.
Doing 100 miles an hour and your helicopter's right here watching you and you're the first bike on the road. That's nervous.
Yeah. So this was a total different mindset then.
Yeah. we are going down there like a camping trip, dude, and just we're having fun. We're gonna go out and drive around every day, come back, cook up some food, and camp out.
Nice. So your dad's thinking on the starting line, what are we eating for dinner, Connor?
Yeah,
Is that how he's doing it?
Morning. So.
Oh, that's cool. What did you think when you got the opportunity to go help your dad down there?
Oh, I was so happy. I was stoked. It was one of the funnest trips I've had in my life.
Were you a little nervous though that to work on the car, because the pit crew almost has more pressure than the racer?
No, we didn't really have much problems. It was just a easy trip, you know. It was fun.
Yeah, I worked on the car every night. Like they set up camp and got everything dialed in, put the easy ups up, and set up the shower.
Logistics and hospitality, right there.
Yep. And I'd pull in, shower, eat, take a little break, and then work on the car.
Nice. And it didn't seem like there was that much work to do. You just got to keep it up and make sure that's good for the next day.
Yep.
Right on. Well, going through the rally, maybe give us a couple highlights.
Oh man, I don't know. Every day was it was fun.
Just seeing you,
minus the days that I got lost. I got legitimately lost one day, pretty good.
Oh, really?
And that was definitely not a highlight. But just, dude, me and Wayne had some pretty good battles with Sammy and stuff, and it was so fun. We were racing on a motocross track,
nice.
Going back and forth and passing and. It was fun.
That's got to be cool. And just sitting here, you're not even in the RS1 right now, but I can see it on the smile on your face, man. So it's cool to see. I can only imagine what Connor and your dad got to see when you were down there.
Yeah.
Was it pretty cool to see your dad so happy?
Yeah, it was. It just from the start to the finish, whenever he crossed the finish line, it was just all happy.
Yeah. Nice. Does that ever make you be like, dude, I want to go out and try it?
Yeah, that's what made me want to start to try rallies, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I had so much fun, and just hanging out with the bike guys and then seeing my dad, it inspired me to go try a rally or try to start learning how to do road books, you know?
It is pretty cool. That's got to be like a good, proud dad moment, though, too, to see your young son want to go do that.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. It's just cool having them along, you know? Like, well, I'll go support him at his races and stuff, and then he comes and supports me at my races. So
yeah, it's definitely cool. And I always had that, like, my dad's been a huge supporter the whole time. My mom, my whole family, my sister, everybody. But it's a little different when dad's helping you because you're the focus, right?
Yeah.
And now seeing Connor like come to like support you, like it's a totally different thing because you're going to be able to give back to him what you're learning and like go back and forth. Like that type of meshed connection's got to feel good.
Yeah. Oh, it's rad for sure. Just sharing the same passion is cool, you know, and with it's 3 generations of sharing the same passion is badass.
That's exactly what I was talking about the dirt life, is that a lot of families, let's just talk about the suburban culture, they don't have that.
Yeah.
They have a disconnect between their son playing video games, dad going to work, mom not knowing anything about video games or anything, and look here, you've got 3 generations just totally loving the same types of things.
Yep.
Like, and well, now you got a farmer too, but
we got a farmer.
That means dad's going to have to learn about farming too, right?
Yeah.
Well, big brother can help too.
Yeah, we'll be learning. We know a lot about dirt bikes, and probably by the end we'll know a lot about farming. Who knows?
Oh, Wingman 27s did, or 2971 did say the dudes were amazing, or the duels were amazing.
Yeah, they were freaking fun, man. It was literally like a motocross sprint.
Really?
For a while, yeah.
That's pretty intense in a rally course, huh?
Yeah, it was.
So do you even remember how many miles it was when you were dueling?
No, but it was just like the miles were just clicking off. We know that. Like it was fun.
You both elevated each other's games?
Yeah, because a rally could get like pretty monotonous, you know. So it's not too often that you get to go door to door and we must, Sammy and I must have passed each other back and forth probably 10 times.
Holy smokes, really?
Yeah, just battling. Like, yeah, they'd make a mistake, duck underneath. I'd make a mistake.
When you're off the line, how many minutes or whatever? Like how?
2 minutes.
Okay, so 2 minutes. So you guys are still pretty close.
Yeah.
So one person makes a mistake, the other guy's there.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Dude, that's so crazy. And then you were seeing like during the rally, you were seeing like, wow, I'm like doing pretty good. Like this stuff is where I want it to be. With the racer mentality that you have, and Connor can probably attest to this. Like, was your dad pretty strategic and instrumental, like in his own brain, as to how he was going to better himself every day?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, basically.
just like totally like analyzing everything that he was doing.
Yeah, by the time he finished, he knew what he was going to do the next day.
That's a massive, massive trait that I think is so phenomenal with racers, dude.
Yeah.
It's cool to see that. And I mean, we would do it at short course races, but we got a 6-hour drive home, right? Like you're doing it in 10 minutes, 15 minutes for the next day while you're cooking dinner, right?
Yeah. Yep.
That's cool. What are some of the things that you think about afterwards? Don't give away any secrets, but tell us like what you think about after a race like that. Like, shoot, I could have done this portion of the course better if I followed the road book. This, like
yeah.
What?
And that's one thing that I lack that I kind of need to brush up on or get a little better at is maybe reviewing like an after action review kind of thing or something. But for the most part, like I had my hands full with getting back and prepping my car and eating and making sure my body's taken care of, my car's taken care of, and getting some sleep and stuff. So I didn't really think too much about the past, I was just like kind of keep moving forward every day and worrying about what we had to do the next day.
Yeah. Typical racer mentality,
but
quick to forget, good to move on.
Yeah, but there was some of the days that we had like a long liaison after the special that I would think like, oh God, man, I wish I could have done this better or done that better or not get lost or who knows what it was. But
yeah,
there's you definitely goes through your head for
That's
sure.
cool. And then you come home and you do well. I think you got a second place over there overall.
Yep.
You come home and you're just like, man, this is pretty cool that I got the opportunity to do this. And a few days later, while all of this is setting in, you get the opportunity to get sign a contract for a Factory Polaris, right?
Yeah, so we're out testing with Craig, getting his car ready for the Baja 500 and stuff, and he goes, here, take this thing for a spin and let me know what you think. So I go get it, and while I'm out driving his freaking car, which is, I can't believe he let me drive his car. But anyways,
pretty plush.
Yeah, it's a sweet rig for sure. So I take off, and when I come back, I'm like, yeah, it's all right. Like I think we still need to do this, and this. And he comes. This whole time he's playing like a game, right?
He just wants you gone so he can set up. Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to get this all figured out or planned out how he's going to attack me with this contract, So he comes up with this scheme where he goes.
Anybody that doesn't know Craig likes having these little plans and like he wants to fuck with people.
Yeah, he goes, hey, have you seen the dangers? How they put them out on this paper for the score? I'm like, no, really? And he goes, yeah, take a look at this. This is retarded or something like that. So, not like that. Craig's super professional, but it was something similar to that. So I opened it up, and it was a contract, and I was like, it was a four-wheel parts Polaris deal combined. So
you're like, you son of a.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't know what to do. Like, I didn't know if I wanted to cry or like I gave him a big hug. I gave him like a manly hug. You know?
Or jump out of your seat.
And he's like, whoa, bro, whoa. So I was like, I was pretty freaking stoked on it for sure.
That's cool, man. Well, I was stoked to see it when that stuff got released on social media. Like, I'm proud of you for putting in all the effort and getting the opportunity. It's well deserved, that's for sure. And so, be that as it may, what do you think, actually, Connor, before we go on to the next part? Were you stoked? Like, were you there, or did you get a call?
I think I was out. I was down at Glen Helen, and then I didn't find out about it till the next day, and I saw it on his Instagram post. He didn't even tell me. I just saw it on his Instagram post.
You guys were at home and he didn't say nothing?
He was practicing down at Glen Helen.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, geez. I was stoked for him. I was like, heck yeah.
Yeah, Dad's making it. That's pretty cool. So that is like a dream come true for a person that's put in so much effort into it. So when something like that happens, though, like I know that when I got my Yamaha support deal, I was like, wow, now it's really time to put in the work. Now it's really time to show what we're made of. Now it's really time to make all the people around you happy because they're the ones that supported you to get to this point. Like, What is your mentality now that this has come to fruition?
I think I'm ready for it. I know I'm ready for it. If it was the younger me, I think it probably would have been a little bit of nervous, little nerves, just because, maybe let the pressure get to you. But I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm happy with where I'm at. I'm comfortable with going fast in the desert, reading the desert, prepping cars, like whatever it may be. And
that's what I was telling you, man. Like the experience that you've had over the tenure of your off-road career, we'll call it, has all led up to this point, and the amount of skills that you have in your brain and your body, all of that stuff. I mean, even muscle memory, right? Like, none of that's going to go to waste now.
Yeah, No, and that's why I think. I think it's easier now than if this would have happened 10 years ago. You know, when I was still fairly young, and so. We'll see.
What is it? Wingman 2971. Oh, he's talking about the distance that you guys battled for.
20 to 30 kilometers back and forth. Yeah.
A couple of times, huh?
Yeah.
Dude, how fun would that be, man? I think that would be so cool. Did you guys have any radio contact at the time, or you guys are just doing it racer style?
Yeah, just racing.
Nice, dude. Yep. That'd be so fun.
Yeah.
All right, so moving along then, first of all, like I said, I'm so stoked for you. Well-deserved for having the contract, and I'm really, really excited to see what the next steps are in Max Eddy's tenure of off-road racing. I mean, you have so many years left in you. It's going to be really cool to see, and to have Connor be able to have his own opportunities as well. I just feel like the Eddy family is just going to make it off-road proud.
You know, I'm a bike guy and getting into the side-by-side world, and I think side-by-sides are going to start getting more bike guys in here, and we're going to change the game. I guarantee that.
Dude, I think so too, man. I've always been such a fan of dirt bike guys coming into side-by-sides. That actually, is there an adverse effect, though? Like, what all your dirt bike guys say? They're like, oh, you pussy. Like, you're on four wheels now. They give you any shit?
No.
They're stoked?
I don't think so. Yeah, for sure. I mean,
hell yes.
My bike guys were like, oh, hell yeah, congrats, you know, and
that makes me happy to hear, because before, like 5 years ago or whatever, it wasn't the same.
No, it definitely wasn't. Yeah, they called them golf carts and whatever else you can say. But dude, they've come a long freaking ways.
Hey, do any of your friends call them golf carts still, Connor?
Yeah, my buddy Drew. He's all for 9 cars and Volkswagens, and yeah, that's all.
Until he gets waxed in a side-by-side?
Yeah.
All right, so what does the future hold for Max Eddy then?
Next year, we're going racing. We'll do the whole Best in Desert series. 4-Wheel Parts will be the title sponsor on our car.
Nice. I can't wait to see that livery.
Yeah, along with, you know, KMC, VP, EFX, Cryo Heat, Maxima Racing Wheels. We got a lot of partners for next year. Fox, Baja Designs, of course. They've been helping me since day one on my bike stuff. So we got a lot of help.
That's awesome, man.
I'm so happy to go racing. We're going out of the box. We're going to win, and we'll be 100% ready come January 1st of 2022.
Are you able to give anybody the insight as to what vehicle you'll be driving or anything like that yet?
Yeah. Yep. We'll be in a 2022 Pro XP.
Nice. That'll be super cool to see.
Not a Pro XP 1000.
Oh, XP 1000.
Non-turbo.
Non-turbo?
Yeah, non-turbo.
Okay, so you're going to ride the Pro NA class then?
Yep, Pro NA class.
That's cool. You know what? That's funny to see. Like, when we were in Baja, clearly, like, the Pro Turbo class is what most people want to watch, just like 450s and motocross, right? Yep. But 90% of the time, there's better battles in the 250 class. Yeah. Well, there's better battles at the Baja 500 in the NA class than there was in the Turbo class. There was so many more people in a tighter knit area.
Yeah. Yeah, and, dude, the NA cars are fast, too. I mean, they're reliable. They're fast. You know. I have all intentions of battling with the turbo cars.
That's good, man. I like your style.
Best in the Desert may be a little bit harder because it's a lot faster, but hopefully eventually this career will take me back down to Baja, and I want to be the first NA car. Well, I think it's already happened, but definitely want to overall some Baja wins.
Yeah,
Baja races in an NA car.
That'll be super cool. I know that last year, it was in November. The Honda guys, I think they overhauled the 1000. So that was pretty cool to see those guys do that. Yep. I really, really, honestly, man, I'm so stoked for you. I think this is super cool that you're getting the opportunity to do it. I was talking with Ryan on the way to Mexico, and I told him, I go, man, it's going to be cool to see, not only because Max has the ability to do all this stuff, but he's a humble dude, and he wants to go out there and win. Like, if he goes out there to win, he's going to be the happiest dude on the planet. Like, he's going to come off the course, and he's just going to be stoked on life. Yep. So I'm pretty stoked to see what happens in 2022, man. What's going to happen this year, then? Are you going to get any time to drive?
I'm going to do the UTV Worlds. And I don't know. I think that may be it for the Razor stuff. I know I got some trophy truck stuff coming up for Vegas to Reno. I'll be helping Craig at the 400 and probably helping Craig at the 1,000.
And helping Connor.
There is a slight chance. I did have a message from some big names down in Baja. The Herbst brothers asked me for a little bit of help, so that's an opportunity still too. So we'll see how that goes.
Don't make the boss mad. You got to still keep him happy though, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've already committed to Craig going down there and helping for the 500 and 1,000 for sure, running a pit for him and taking some buddies down. And which, dude, we had a blast. So this is the first Baja 400. Like, I haven't missed a Baja race in a long time, being participant of it, and we went down just to help this year. Didn't participate in it. Craig signed me up as a backup driver just in case. But we had a blast.
Yeah.
Just me.
So fun.
Me and my buddy Robbie and my buddy Jason went down and snatched up one of Craig's chase trucks and ran a pit for him. Did a little bit of logistics and hung out. Just had a good time.
Well, you forgot the best part. You ate tacos.
We ate some tacos. We ate some good spaghetti. That, I don't know, one guy on his crew cooked some awesome spaghetti.
Oh, really?
Steak and
in
lobster.
Mexico?
Yeah. So Craig runs this big old huge compound down there and cooks. And he brings a crew of like 20 people, right?
Yeah.
So he's cooking steak and lobster. He buys all the steak and all the lobster for his whole group of 20 people.
Dang.
And is feeding all of us steak and lobster.
Dude, I want to go.
Yeah. The next night it was like some bomb spaghetti from this 5-star chef, and yeah, he does it up right down there. Pretty
Dude,
good.
that's the way to do it, man.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool that you guys got the opportunity to do that. So, man, it sounds like you guys got a pretty busy schedule then.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be busy with his racing and next year stuff. I got a chase truck I'm going to go pick up from Phoenix from the Geyser Brothers next week or the week after and get that thing all dialed in and set up the way I want it and
get it all stickered up.
Start building the car. Yeah, got to design a wrap, and that's the hardest part of this whole racing, in my opinion.
What, designing it?
Designing a wrap.
I know a guy. It's easy for me to do that stuff, so I'm happy to help if you want.
Yeah, it's just that's the hardest. Designing T-shirts, wrap, like your livery and stuff. That to me is the hardest.
Yeah, and Lindsay Geyser told me she was pretty busy, so I'm happy to help you if you want.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so doing all that stuff takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. I'm really happy that you guys get to do all this stuff. Do you have any, or can you give us any insight? Do you even know who's going to build the car for you? You know, like what's going to happen?
We're going to do it all in house.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
You guys already have a busy schedule, man. What do you think, Connor?
Yep.
May as well throw yourself in the fire and do it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we're doing everything in house. I want to know 100% about like my own car and
every single thing.
Every single thing. Yeah.
That's super cool, man. I admire that so much because I did the exact same thing for my racing program.
Yep.
Didn't know how to weld, didn't know how to fabricate, didn't know how to bend tube, didn't know how to do anything, and all of a sudden a race car pops out.
Yeah. Yep. That's what we're doing, and I got Robbie, Jason, a bunch of my buddies that'll come over and help prep and stuff, but majority of the prep I want to do myself.
A lot of like-minded, smart individuals around you that can help out, right?
They all race, and they're all badasses, built cars.
So the main thing that I'm getting from this episode, Connor, I don't know if you kind of felt the same way, but you guys and everybody around you really lives your dirt life, like hardcore.
Yep, everyone. It's dedicated.
That's so cool, man. Well, first of all, I appreciate you guys driving down, hanging out with us. You guys did a fantastic job on the show, man. We have a rapid-fire Q&A that we usually do with everybody. You guys ready to do it?
Ready.
All right, let's let Connor go first since he's the young gun, okay? So I'm going to ask you guys the same question. Connor, you go first. Hard-shelled or soft tacos?
Soft.
How about you, Max?
Hard.
You're going hard? Oh, whoa, look at the sun going soft, dude. Cholula or Tapatio?
Tapatio.
Tapatio.
You going Tapatio too? Chicken or asada?
Chicken.
Asada.
Oh, you're going to... Dude, you guys got the opposites going. Tapatio's only one. Dunes or the river?
River.
Yeah, going river. That's because we all want to go in the water since we don't have any, right? Three-wheeler or a quad?
Three-wheeler.
Go, death machines. Look at you guys. I'm going to ask two different questions here. For Connor, Barsha or Roxon?
Roxon.
All right. So for you, Cincerillo or Ferrandis?
Cincerillo.
Yeah.
Got to go with American.
Gotcha. Okay, so pizza rolls or jalapeno poppers?
Jalapeno poppers.
The jalapeno poppers.
Dude, 100%. We just became best friends. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Coffee.
Yeah, I'm going tea too. All right, favorite soda?
Sprite.
Manzana.
What the heck is that?
Like an apple, Sol?
What?
Like an apple
I don't even know
soda?
what that is. Is that like super like steel pinky bougie shit?
It's
Like
Mexico. It's an apple soda from Mexico. It's so good.
really?
Yep.
All right. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Invincibility.
Invincible? Like nobody can beat you up, or like nobody can even touch you?
Yeah, no, everything. Never die.
Like immortality and invincible, like that whole deal? Dude, that would be pretty crazy, huh? What would you pick?
I guess never aging.
Never aging?
Yeah.
Wow, okay, cool. All right, most memorable race. We got to go quick, too, because the iPad's about to die.
Sonora Rally.
Oh, really? It's not even a race that you did.
Yeah.
That's pretty phenomenal. All right, what about you?
2014 Baja 1000, my first Baja win.
Nice, dude. Yeah, congratulations on that. Favorite flavor of ice cream?
Rocky Road.
Chocolate.
Rocky Road's pretty good, too. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Dogs.
Netflix or YouTube?
YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah, same. Supercross or motocross?
Motocross.
Moto.
Dude, it's been so gnarly. Have you guys seen the last
Yeah,
motos?
yeah.
That last 450 moto at High Point? Good God.
Yeah. That's good.
What other form of racing would you like to try? This could be anything. Monster trucks, boats, whatever.
Horse racing.
No way. Are you just saying that because your friends are watching, or you really want to try it?
That'd be fun.
That's off the wall.
I wanna race the Barbie Jeets at
Like
the
that downhill Nitro
yeah.
Circus crap?
Yeah.
Like, oh my, dude, you're ready to kill.
I want to go to race a Jeep down right next to Paychecks in Texas next year.
Dude, I'm wearing a neck brace if I do any of that crap. Even the horse racing, dude. Tacos or burgers?
Tacos.
All right, man. Final question of the night. Chips and guacamole or french fries and ranch?
Chips and guacamole.
Yep.
100%. All right. Well, you guys did a fantastic job. The iPad's about to die. I would like to keep talking about this because it makes me so happy to see you guys still living your dirt life. But thank you guys very much. We really appreciate it. So, actually, do you or Connor, either of you, have people that you'd like to thank before we do the outro?
Yeah. Obviously, thank you for inviting us down to this show, and say my thanks to my wife, my dad, everyone that supports me, my buddies back home, Robbie, Jason, all of my supporters that help me do whatever on the car. 4-Wheel Parts, Polaris, KMC, Baja Designs, EFX Tires, all my sponsors, Maxima, Cryo Heat, all those guys that keep me going. And a lot of these guys have been with me for years, not just jumped on board with the side-by-side stuff. They've been with me for my bike years.
That's a good point to bring up, is that if you have a good relationship with these people, they'll carry on with in the future.
I'm not big on social media. I'm sure my sponsors would rather me post more and have more followers or whatever, but I build a one-on-one relationship with all my sponsors.
Shaking hands.
And to me, that goes further than any social media followers that
I tell people that every day, man. So keep up the good work. Well, yeah, that's cool, because it does take a whole team to be able to get you to this point. Actually, we'll let you thank your sponsors when you're on the show. How about that?
Yep.
It does take a whole team, and I'm glad that you have mentioned all the people around you, because it's phenomenal that all these people do support you in your dreams too. So, all right. So next week we got our longtime friend. In fact, I used to play in the sandbox with him with little Hot Wheels and monster truck cars. Joe Whining. He does Toby Price's trophy truck program. Just got done at the Fink race with him. So we're going to go down to Tucson, Arizona. We're going to hang out with him probably at UPR, Ultra Performance Racing. And man, it's going to be an awesome show. Casey Peck is going to be the co-host. It'll be nice to get the band back together. We really appreciate Max and Connor for coming down, taking the time with us. I know they got a long drive back up to Barstow. Thank you to you guys. You guys are the ones that keep this show alive, man. So everything that you guys have done, keep sliding into our DMs, ask me questions, hanging out with us, giving us suggestions about what we should do on the next portion of the show. All of your guys' fantastic comments and giving us awesome reviews and things like that. We'd love it so much. So keep us busy and keep us keep us going as much as you can. We really appreciate it. We really appreciate all the sponsors of the show. So thank you very much to KMC. Thank you to EFX. Thank you guys over at Shock Therapy. Use the code DIRTLIFE at shocktherapist.com. Thank you to the guys over at Solderweld. You can use the code DIRTLIFE at solderweld.com. Thank you guys at Zollinger Racing Products. You can use the code DIRTLIFE at ZollingerRacingProducts.com. And they say Josh at Crowd Heat, so thank you to Josh at Crowd Heat, man. I really appreciate it. We really appreciate you guys living your dirt life with us. We will see you guys next week. Good night.
Thanks for listening to The Dirt Life Show.